All stations. Mumbai ground on 118.1. Pre-flight radio check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How do you read? All stations. Mumbai ground. Pre-flight radio check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How do you read?
Mumbai ground,
Mumbai
Victor Tango, Sierra
ground.
Kilo, thank you. Radio 5, secondary 89er, primary 8899er. How do you read?
All stations by control.
Mumbai ground. Victor Tango Oscar Mike Golf. Read you 5. How do you read?
All stations, Mumbai control.
Mumbai control. Victor Tango Mike Sierra Lima.
All stations, stop transmitting. Very good morning, everyone. As you inch close towards a Monday noon, you start your morning in the mindset it should be like you're rising with the sun. Okay. Today we are going to do quick doubt resolution. So please let your doubts come over Zoom chat. If your Zoom chat is not working, you could drop me on our chat. Secondly, we'll be doing mocks. Today's first mock is a surprise. And the second mock, if time permits, we'll be doing it. I want to make it quick. This being the 12th session for the exam prep, I know there are students who have just started who are going through maybe lecture 7, lecture 8, almost there, halfway through. But over and above that, the exposure is very important because you get to see what's going to happen with you in the examination. A few rules to keep in mind when you think about appearing in the part 1 of the exam. Those rules I'll be talking once with respect to how you should perform to increase your chances to clear whatever attempt you give. If it's your first attempt, great. If not, it could be your second attempt at max. It doesn't matter first, second, third, fourth. It's just a license exam. You go to RTO, you don't get a license, you go again. You don't get a license, you go again. You want to run a business, you apply for license to the government. It doesn't get accepted in the first go. You go for insurance approvals, they don't always get approved in the first go. You have to reapply and satisfy the authorities with respect to certain things. RT exam is just like that. Do not be overburdened with expectations. Remember, your preparation will give you that. Focus on your preparation, focus on learning. One of the questions I had something to do with RCF, and I think Tushar was asking that. So, Tushar, how do you read? And tell me, what is the doubt?
Video 5. My doubt is about RCF. How do you read, sir?
Radio 5.
First doubt is about blind call.
What is the doubt?
Sir, you said standing by for pushback and startup. What is the mean?
Meaning of what, Tushar?
Standing by for pushback and startup in blind call.
In blind call, standing by for pushback and startup, there's no connection between the two. Standing by for pushback and startup is a generic acknowledgement that you are giving when you request for a pushback and startup permission. What is a pushback and a startup permission? For those of you all who don't know, an aircraft, when it is parked at the aerodrome, it's parked with the terminal facing the cockpit, the terminal buildings. This is called nose-in parking. The aircraft is not designed to move on its own power in reverse direction. So what happens? The aircraft needs to be pushed to take a U-turn like this. So let's say the taxiway is towards the screen and the aircraft is parked like this. So I will need to push the aircraft back through certain mechanisms known as tow trucks and tow bars. They push back the aircraft and then they align it with the taxiway. Like the pushback happens like this, and they detach the machine, the equipment, and then the aircraft can start the engines. Number one, number two, left to right. So to push back the aircraft, you need ATC permission, because if you don't check with ATC, you might collide with other buildings, right? So ATC is your eye. The aircraft is too big, you cannot maintain clearance. When you drive a car, bicycle, whatever you know, if you know or whether you have been, it's so important for you to not hit anyone else, be a person, be a wall, be a ground, anything. You should not touch your car anywhere, right? Similarly, you should not touch your plane anywhere. But how do you keep the clearance? ATC does that. Why are we talking about RT? Why are we doing RT? So that you can communicate to ATC that be my eye. I am here, I need clearance. Tell me if it's safe or not. That is the entire gist of your RT requirement in the world, nothing else. And the language you're learning is only so that you can make the operation that is happening in this case easier. What is this operation that I'm talking about? The operation is safe movements, traffic management. So pushback and startup is a permission, one of the first permissions that you will take. It all starts with raising the station when you reach your aircraft to fly for that particular day. So pushback and startup आपको डेली बेसिस पे मांगना ही होगा. बिना pushback and startup के आपका फ्लाइट नहीं चलेगा. So that pushback and startup can be asked anytime. Transmitting blind is a situation when any conversation you are doing, you can transmit, but you cannot receive. That is transmitting blind. When your receiver fails, but your transmitter is working. So whatever your conversation is, if there is no emergency, then you continue talking to that ATC, even if you cannot get a response, provided you have tried to call other ATCs first to check if there's any communication whatsoever that could be relayed. If nobody else is responding, it means probably your receiver has failed. It means that you have to transmit blind. That is a rule. You transmit blind, it means I'm not sure if my message is reaching, but I'm doing my job and I'm resuming as my normal flight plan. Now, during pushback and startup, if ATC is not responding, and if ATC has asked you to stand by when you have requested, let's say I'm flying and I'm saying Mumbai ground, India 123, stand 2, request pushback and startup. So Mumbai ground will say Air India 123, Mumbai ground, stand by. Why stand by? Now, stand by is an important phrase. Students, we cannot ignore the little words and phrases. Stand by means wait and I will call you. So they are saying wait, I'll call you back. Now what happens? You're waiting. So you acknowledge, say standing by Air India 123. That's it. You wait for some time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. If you don't get a response, then you call them again. Mumbai ground, Air India 123, standing by, stand 2 for pushback and startup. I'm standing by. I'm waiting for you to call me back. I'm at stand 2 and I'm waiting for pushback and startup. I have to go. I'm getting late. If they don't get a response, and if you have tried to call tower, if they don't give a response, then you'll try to raise station tower, Mumbai tower, India 123, negative contact with Mumbai ground. If you get a response, great. If you don't get a response, just try to talk to approach, Mumbai approach, India 123, negative contact with Mumbai ground and Mumbai tower. No response, try to talk to, if you have HF, try to talk to FIC. Otherwise, try to talk to control. Same place. Mumbai control, India 123, stand 2, negative contact with Mumbai tower, approach, or ground. If you get any response, great. If you don't get response, it means your receiver has failed almost. You will have 3 VHF systems. So you will ask your PIC, if you are the one doing RT, you'll ask the PIC, please check with your system if you can communicate. So you'll check there are 3 VHF systems total, VHF1, VHF2, VHF3. If none of them are working, now this protocol is not taught to you in RT. The only protocol in RT that is taught to you as per the manual is you'll try to raise the other stations. If not, you'll try to raise the FIC. If not, you'll come back to the original and transmit blind and wait. That's it. Right now you have to wait. So in this case, you try if you have HF, one more thing, Mumbai radio, India 123, parked at Mumbai, stand 2, negative contact over VHF with either of ATCs. Request further instructions. If your HF is working, then your VHF is not working. Stop the departure, get the aircraft fixed, ask the team to come back, engineering team and whatever, and you might have to shift the passengers to another plane if your airline has provided that for you. Or a delay, technical delay, as long as it takes for the equipment to be fixed. So here, transmitting blind, standing by, it is a very natural thing, students. It can happen anywhere in whatsoever situations. So I hope, Tushar, you have understood what I'm trying to say with respect to this.
Yes, sir.
फिर भी मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा है डाउट कहाँ से आ रहा है. If you would like to share some light on this. तुषार, फिर भी मुझे समझ नहीं आया डाउट कहाँ से आया. अगर आप थोड़ा उस पर बताओगे मुझे कहाँ से आया तो अच्छा होगा.
सर ब्लाइंड
वेरी गुड
कॉल.
मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट्स. हाँ तुषार, सोचो फिर बताओ मुझे.
ओके सर.
We have Prerit. Tanmay, please rename yourself. We have Om, Rohita. Charlie Echo Oscar, please drop me a name on Zoom chat. We have Suchita. Tushar is joining in first live. Karishma, Gurpreet is here. Priyanka is here. Muskan, Ayush, Prerit, and Atharva. So I think ATH, Atharva, and then CEU, I think it's also Atharva, right? Yes. So students, try to communicate on Zoom chat, okay, in the class. So I'm missing Aruhi, and I think that's it. I'm missing a couple of more students. So Tushar, बताओ मुझे कहाँ से आ रहा है डाउट फटाफट. Students, I need instant replies. Okay, we don't have time. We have to be quick. Yes.
डाउट ये था कि ब्लाइंड कॉल में इस सेंटेंस का या इस फ्रेज का क्या मतलब निकल रहा है.
अभी तुम समझ गए वो सेंटेंस का क्या मतलब है. वो जरूरी नहीं है ब्लाइंड कॉल में, वो कहीं भी यूज हो सकता है.
यस सर.
वो नॉर्मल कॉल है. क्या मतलब समझे आप, बताओ मुझे तुषार.
मुंबई
words
ग्राउंड.
हम्म.
सर वही तो समझ में नहीं आया.
अभी मैंने इतना समझाया ना.
यस सर, वो तो समझ में आया कि
तो
अगर
उसी की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं. उसकी बात करो. क्या समझ में आया अभी.
अगर एटीसी से हम बात कर रहे हैं और हमें परमिशन नहीं मिली तो वो स्टैंड बाय कहेंगे और स्टैंडिंग बाय टू करके हम कॉल साइन
रिप्लाई
बोल देंगे.
करेंगे. रिप्लाई
Yes,
करेंगे.
sir.
यस, एक्नॉलेजमेंट. तो क्या नहीं समझ आया तुम्हें, बताओ जल्दी.
सर ब्लाइंड कॉल में ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा है इसका क्या. अगर हम एयर में और फिर ये बोले तो क्या सेंस है इस बात का.
तुम एयर में पुशबैक एंड स्टार्टअप नहीं बोल सकते हो. कैसे बोलोगे.
यस यस सर, यही
कैसे
था.
बोलोगे तुम. नहीं, वो गलत है. कहाँ से आ रहा है रेफरेंस.
सर
कहाँ से आ रहा है रेफरेंस. कहाँ पढ़ा आपने.
लेक्चर 1 में.
लेक्चर 1 में ट्रांसमिटिंग ब्लाइंड में ये कहाँ पढ़ा है. शेयर करो मुझसे. कुछ गड़बड़ हुई है तुषार. ट्रांसमिटिंग ब्लाइंड में इन एयर में आप पुशबैक स्टार्टअप की बात कर ही नहीं सकते. आपका पुशबैक स्टार्टअप होने के बाद ही आप हवा में रहोगे ना.
यस सर.
बताओ बताओ कहाँ है कंफ्यूजन. क्विक ट्राई टू
नहीं सर.
एक्सप्लेन इट प्रॉपर्ली. क्या है कंफ्यूजन. पूरी सिचुएशन समझाओ.
यस सर, मुझे लगा कि हम एयर में हैं.
हम एयर में कैसे हो सकते हैं.
यस सर.
ट्रांसमिटिंग ब्लाइंड का कुछ हिंट आया तुम्हें.
यस सर.
गुड. नोट्स बना लो इसके कुछ जो भी समझ
Yes,
आया है एंड बी ऑन द लुकआउट.
ओके.
है ना. Students, once quickly who have just started or who are midway, who have not finished their training, just drop me a message with respect to your RT prep level where you have reached. I'm not talking about exam students. I'm not talking about anyone who's finished Golf 22 or any other batch. Okay. So Preetham has also requested for the link, but he's not joined. It's fine. So we have Tanmay and Suchita on the radar. Suchita, how are you feeling?
We're feeling good.
Any doubts?
No, sir.
What is no in RT?
Sorry, negative.
What is sorry in RT?
Correction. Negative, sir.
Is there sir that we use in RT? We don't. So students, rule number 1. Practice sessions also. Live lectures also. You're communicating with me. Communicate as per RT. Tanmay, how are you feeling?
Positive, sir.
Positive about what?
Positive about so this attempt, I guess.
Okay, what makes you so positive about this?
Sir, actually, I practiced some question papers with my friends. Like one of your mocks that has been given to like some Zulu November Victor and Mike Romeo Tango. So those mocks I practiced with my friends, and I was like, choti mistakes are there. Like in pan calls, I missed the additional info, that is the very important info, switching on lights and that one. So yeah, I know what my small mistakes are. So just working on the feedback.
Tell me a couple of mistakes that you noticed.
The second thing, sir, once I just forgot to mention the call sign of mine in the very first line. So what happened? Pan, all aircraft. Then I just started with the this thing, intention, condition. Sorry. So I just forget the call sign to be mentioned. So the ATC just stopped me and just asked me, "What's your call sign?" Station calling. This is this. Tell me your call sign is.
Okay.
So then I gave the call all again.
Mhm. Okay, who can tell me? Now, when I'm asking this question, I want everybody to participate and I want you all to raise your hands. Who can tell me why would you end up making a mistake? Who can tell me why would you end up making a mistake as simple as not saying your call sign? Raise your hands and I'll allow you to give the answer. The question is a simple question. Why do you think we as in anyone who's trying to appear for exams like RT, why do you think? I want verbal answers right now. Raise your hand and I'll tell you who can answer. And I want everyone to participate. Okay, Gurpreet. Victor Tango Golf Romeo Papa. You tell me. Go ahead.
I think we are not happy with the environment and confused, nervous, fear of failure. I think these are things are considerable of losing marks and forgetting things, important things. That's why we make mistakes.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay. Makes sense. Human error related point. Muskan, what about you?
Sir, in my opinion, it may be because of the pressure of the exam.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Pressure of the exam. Okay. One word answers. Fine. Okay. Atharva, Victor Tango, Charlie, Echo, Oscar. You tell me.
So, in case we've not made it a habit in regular practice, Mr. Tango, Charlie, Oscar.
Radio 3, say again. Mumbai ground.
So, in case we've not made it a habit in regular practice, Victor Tango, Charlie, Echo, Oscar.
In case we have not practiced enough to make it a habit, is what I can understand. Okay. Suchita, your turn.
So maybe the person has made the call in haste and did not frame the call in mind before speaking. That could be one reason.
Read you to say again.
So I was saying that maybe the person did not frame the question before speaking, did not frame the call in mind, and the person read the question, understood that it is a urgency call, and focused on that part, and in the haste forgot his call sign.
Okay, not making the call in mind and then being in a rush. Okay. I want more inputs quickly. Who can give me? Very well said, students. Tanmay, why do you think you made that mistake? Tanmay, why do you think you made that mistake?
Sir, I was thinking about this pan situation. So how to make that call, the call structure, and like before going to the questions, all those flight plan materials, items should be in your mind, in your subconscious mind very well, like your call sign, your time, your destination, departure. So if this are set very well in your subconscious mind, you automatically just say those words in your call sign. So it's very important you go through your flight plan items very thoroughly. As you said, you should go twice before starting with the questions. And yeah, that's what my main concern is. So I just started with the pan call structure, and I was thinking what my condition should frame like and what my intention should be. So I just missed my call sign at that moment.
What else? Suchita, what are your observations so far? Anything? How you feeling? Positive, negative?
So feeling positive.
Okay, good. Students, any questions? Anything? Tanmay, questions?
So, so while flying eastbound and westbound, is it necessary to take those routes that has been mentioned in semicircular flight rules that's been mentioned in regulation?
Routes are not mentioned. Flight levels are mentioned, right?
Flight levels, yeah, sorry.
So what are you asking about? You're asking about routes. ये क्या हो रहा है ये?
No, wait. I'll just go. So, in the semicircular, those flight levels been mentioned. It was something like if you go eastbound, you have to fly on odd routes, and if you go west, you have to fly on even, or maybe vice versa. I'm not clear with
Routes or
that.
flight level?
Flight level, sir.
फिर से रूट्स बोल रहे हो? तुम समझ रहे हो ये चीज तुम्हारे कैल्सिफाई हो गई है. यहाँ गड़बड़ हो सकती है. बोलना फ्लाइट लेवल है, बोल रहे हो रूट. कंट्रोल
I'm
का है.
saying
फोकस
eastbound.
फोकस.
No, sir, wait. Eastbound route में you have to fly flight level odd. ऐसे I'm saying. And westbound route में you have to
ईस्टबाउंड
fly
रूट
odd
रूट नहीं बोलते. ईस्टबाउंड फ्लाइट.
flight.
It's generally not eastbound. It's 0 to 179er and 180 to 359er. So जो भी आपका फ्लाइट का डायरेक्शन 0 to 179er आ रहा है, that automatic becomes eastbound. And जो भी फ्लाइट का डायरेक्शन 180 से 359er आ रहा है, वो वेस्टबाउंड होता है. ठीक है? Simple. Eastbound, westbound. It depends on your route. If you're taking the same route but you're traveling in the opposite direction, then the eastbound route becomes westbound because वो QDR QDM बन जाता है. तो route eastbound westbound आप यहाँ पे गलत यूज कर रहे हो. Please don't use that word. ठीक है? बट हाँ, कुछ रूट्स ईस्टबाउंड वेस्टबाउंड नॉमेनक्लेचर के साथ रहती है, तो वो स्पेसिफिकली ईस्ट के लिए ही यूज होती है. बट आई थॉट यू ऑल की chances are you might be given a opposite direction flight on that route also, if it's possible, if it's allowed by the air traffic control. So yes, in reality your air traffic controllers will give you slots as per the RVSM flight table semicircular rule only. In RT hypothetical exams, you don't need to worry about it. You go with your flight plan. Whatever flight plan is given to you, in that, whatever flight level is given to you, as per that, if it is odd, you know where you are if you know the semicircular rule. There's a session done on it. Everybody will be going through it, I'm sure. If not, you keep that. It is good for regs. It is good for future questions and answers. So yes, you can follow that. I don't mind. But if your flight level is odd in the flight plan, whenever you're changing your flight plans, requesting for new flight plans, always keep it odd. And whenever it is even, you keep it even. So you don't need to worry about the semicircular rule. Remember that. Only the time when you need to worry about semicircular rule is when you are designing the flight plan, when you are tracking the route, when you are doing plotting. That's when you need to be aware which flight level you can propose to take. So you will choose if it is eastbound or westbound as per the semicircular rule only. Simple. Remember this. It's very simple. Keep discussing. Okay, students? Okay, we have Charlie Echo Oscar. Please go ahead. Correction. Tanmay, I hope your doubt is clear.
Alfonso. Victor Tango Sierra Kilo.
Pakka. Are you
Yes, sir.
sure?
Yes, sir. So,
Yeah. Victor Tago, Charlie Echo Oscar, please go ahead.
So in the last lecture, we had discussed experiencing hissing noise while ATC was transmitting, and we had practiced a QRM call regarding that. So in case it happens the second time as well, is the same call to be made?
Do you mind saying the same again? Read you 3, say again.
So in case we're experiencing QRM in the second call as well.
Atharva, have you come across a phrase that we use when we are required to say again? We start with the phrase, I say again. So whenever anyone is asking you to say again, you try to reply with the phrase, I say again. All stations,
Roger.
all stations. Yeah, carry on, continue.
I say again. When we had practiced QRM call for hissing noise in ATC transmission, if it happens the second time when we're transmitting, should the same call be made? Victor Tango Charlie Echo Oscar.
I will not say the same call. If an RCF is happening again and again, every time it happens, you have to take that kind of call. Similar to that situation. The only thing that will not be same would be timing if you're using time in that call. Other than that, the call would be same in structure. Yes. But you could emphasize that it is happening again and again in your next call or maybe in your third call. But yes, in simple words, same call. But do you need to copy paste the call? No. You will treat the same situation as an original situation and take a fresh call. Students, never copy your calls. Remember that. Always give an original call, no matter the question is similar. So yeah, same call. Again and again, the same issue is happening. Similar call is what you have to give. Does that answer your question, Atharva? If not, please keep discussing.
Affirm, sir, it does. Victor Tango Charlie Echo Oscar.
Okay, any more doubts, students? So only Karishma, Rohita, and Muskan have given me an update on their RT progress so far. बाकी लोग का क्या चल रहा है? We are 13. We were 15 total. We are 14 now. I think one person has disconnection. I want it on chat. I want your progress on RT as of today. Individual progress. Okay? Please do it. And also drop in your tentative exam desired session. If it's Chennai, say Chennai. If it's August, say August. Just mention that. Mumbai, of course, I'm aware. Mumbai, if I'm not aware about anyone, do remind me that your exam is also in Mumbai. This session is going really good. Everyone is clearing. Okay. Like only 1 or 2 students are not. It's fine. I'm not worried about them. They're working hard and they are getting there. Overall, सबका clear हो रहा है. जितने बचे थे ना, everybody is getting cleared now. Like backlog, अगर if you have to consider कोई student है जिसका नहीं हुआ RT काफी टाइम है, सबका हो गया. Freshers का ही बचा है, वैसा बोल सकते हैं हम लोग. So it's a good thing. I think I'm going to be free. Like, मुंबई सेशन के बाद सिर्फ फ्रेश स्टूडेंट्स ही बचेंगे, पुराना कोई नहीं बचेगा. दैट्स अ वेरी गुड फीलिंग. इट्स लाइक एवरीबडी इज डन, 100% इज डन. So yeah, I'm very happy. So I have a question for the class. How is everyone feeling today? Ayush, very nice to see you join the session. मुंह से जवाब दो मुझे one by one and with your call sign. What you all did initially when I raised the stations, nobody responded. I didn't like that. First RT session of the week. And then second time when I did again, सबने एक साथ reply कर दिया. सब भूल गए. Why am I doing this live group session? To simulate a realistic civil aviation environment, students. So you all are different aircrafts tuned to the same VHF frequency with me right now. Is that how you will talk? सब एक साथ रिक्वेस्ट भेजेंगे क्या? ग्रुप फ्लाइट हो रही है क्या? सब कुछ फॉर्मेशन बनाने वाले हैं? सब 10 पैरेलल रनवे पे एक साथ टेक ऑफ लेने वाले हैं? कुछ गेम चल रहा है क्या? So the rule number 1 that you've forgotten is take the situation, understand the situation as if it's a real environment. How do you do that? You transport yourself in the cockpit, in the virtual cockpit. You feel you're wearing the uniform. You feel you've got the job. You feel the intensity of the mission, the importance of the mission. Remember, understand how much focus you need to fly a plane, especially with passenger and plane that heavy. I mean, imagine. Just this mindset actually helps you take calls more seriously, and issues like not using phrases, not saying call sign, these issues will never happen. These are nothing. These are the little things in life that you should not bother about, because in RT, what I'm teaching you, in your order to answer any question, whether you have studied or not, the trick is to focus on safety. Your intent should be related to your safe landing of the aircraft, and you know the ways you can safely land the aircraft. And you know you cannot blindly head to any aerodrome before getting clearances or setting course or having instructions or having calculated the same thing. So how are you feeling? Priyanka, Atharva and Atharva. Atharva, let's say I'm giving you a situation. Victor Tango, Alpha Tango Hotel. This is for you. Okay. I'm giving you a situation. I want everybody to write down the situation. The situation is you are, write down everyone. So this is question number 1. Now this question number 1 that I'm giving you with respect to this situation, I'll be giving you such situations one by one, and in total, these situations will be making it into one paper, but over a period of time with respect to doubts. So you keep a fresh page for this, leave 4 lines on top of the page for your flight plan, 4 or 5 lines, I would say. Okay. Head question number 1 as this. All right. Flight plan, I would want you all to devise. But before that, I have something for you all that I want you all to check in real time, especially Suchita, Tanmay, and then everybody else in sequence. So you all can see this, right? I just want to show you all so these are the charts. I hope everybody can see the screen. Victor Tango, Alpha Tango Hotel. We are coming to you for the call. Be on the lookout. Let me just explain the chart and we can go ahead with that. So something wrong today with my Zoom is getting irritating sometimes, you know, for me at least. These days the update is not good. Or maybe I need training with the update, I guess. Very, very bad. 1 second, okay. So this is the chart. It is similar to the chart that we have been practicing. But nowadays, students get scared thinking, sir, thoda alag aa raha hai, hum panic kar rahe hain. I'm like, why are you panicking? Come on, use logic. So students generally are scared about, sir, ये F50 क्या है? And ये ऊपर नीचे क्या लिखा है? So F50 nothing, flight level 50. And they're just giving you the ratio without the denominator over here. Okay. So they are just giving us the airspace with respect to certain nomenclature. Here the flight levels are 50. So here they are saying the airspace is above flight level 50. Here they are saying the airspace is below flight level 50. So the first circle that you see, it's very simple to understand. Okay, remember this. So this range that you see covered in yellow, they are trying to show you with respect to this that the airspace is below flight level 50 in this circle within a range of 25. And who is that ATC? It's the tower that they are talking about right now. And the second one they are saying is above flight level 150, and that is approach with a range of 50 nautical miles. Simple. Do not get confused over and above this. Then there is one more confusion that I've come across that students are saying, sir, what is this term? I think one of the students have explained that also. I think Muskan, you will help me with that. What was that term? Some upper control area. What was that? See, in this one, you also have upper limit. Okay. You understand upper limit means the upper altitude restriction, lower limit means the lower altitude restriction. That's it. Also, chances are that the fractions here could mean that with respect to the real-time scenario, probably if there are any variations, you can manually enter that also, but you will not be editing charts. So that's not the case here. The charts are the same. I'll be sending a copy of these charts with you sometime during the session only via email. And I would suggest you have the old copy, you get a print of the same copy as per the same method, plastic sheets and all, the folder sheets, and use this for your reference from now on. In case you're solving some papers where this chart is not valid, then you can go and refer the older chart. But I think this is good enough. If you have any confusions, you'll let me know. So your task, if you have come through the lecture through Goal 22 where you are taught chart reading, if you have reached there, then you need the charts. If you have not reached there, then wait for it. But you study through those charts that I'm teaching and then update and do this chart. Remember that. Always in the exams, be ready to be surprised with charts. They can always give you new type of charts that you have never seen, but the basics will not change. Remember that. So Muskan, what was that term? UCT, UTA, what was that? Can you help me recollect?
Affirm, sir. It was UNL, that is unlimited.
No, it was not UNL. We know unlimited UNL. It was something else. Think about it. Think. Okay, so I'm just sharing this email with you all, everyone. And your job, everyone, and Tanmay and Suchita, don't worry, just refer left to right how to do the charts and just study the charts. 20 minutes, sit down and study these new charts. And yeah, discuss your doubts whenever you have any of them. So with respect to this chart, the question paper that I'm talking about, question number 1 that I'm giving to Atharva right now, you make the flight plan with respect to chart number 1. Okay, I'll just give you the departure and arrival. Departure is Khajuraho. Okay, departure is Khajuraho and arrival is Aurangabad. So in that flight plan, the fresh page flight plan that I'm talking about, leave 4-5 lines, just write down departure, that is Khajuraho. And please, in the list of your location designators, now students who don't have location designators, make sure you request for them. Probably in the lectures, you will be told request then in real time or just keep it in your parking lot. So Khajuraho, I want you all to confirm if it's VAKJ or VEKJ. I think it's VAKJ. It's in Kolkata FIR. And arrival, you will write down as Aurangabad. So Aurangabad is VAAU. Please cross-check this also and correct if I've mentioned it wrong. Other elements in the flight plan we can add. You can devise the route. The route is Whiskey 66, Whiskey 9er, Golf 450. Okay. So 3 elements are there. Rest we can add. Question number 1, leave blank space. Okay. Question number 1 that Victor Tango Alpha Tango Hotel has to solve right now is this. During pushback, you are informed aircraft door L2 is open. Take action. Now remember, you will leave this question paper there it is. You will not write anything on that paper. Now I would want Atharva to quickly give me a call on a fresh page. Like solutions will be the other place you can write, but the paper should be blank. So Atharva, go ahead with your live call. Victor Tango, Alpha Tango Hotel I'm talking about. Muskan, have you come up with that term?
Affirm, sir. It was UTA.
What is
Same
the
as-
meaning?
That is terminal control area.
There was a variation. Unable to recollect. Okay. Don't worry. Good. UTA was it. Students, in the charts, you will come across this. I'll be giving you an abbreviation for this. Do not get worried. Muskan, you're partially right, I guess. I'll confirm if you're completely right or not. Chalo. That's it. So please, Victor Tango, Alpha Tango Hotel, please go ahead with the call and try to take a live call. Firstly, make it in your mind. You're on mute, okay? Do not be nervous. It's just a practice call.
So can I go ahead?
Affirm.
Pan. Victor Tango, Alpha Tango Hotel. Aircraft door L2 is open. Request further instructions.
Good call, Atharva. But किसको कर रहे हो call आप?
So Khajuraho Tower.
तो कहाँ है खजुराहो टावर? W1. Yes, Atharva. Students, UTA meaning is upper control area. It is as good as your area control center or terminal control area, TMA. Okay. Terminal movement area or terminal control area. Upper control area is just like who is the authority taking care of that ATS airspace with respect to the higher altitudes. Simple. This term is there in one of your charts, one of these charts. So remember, Muskan, any reason why you're not able to recollect it? अपर कंट्रोल एरिया है, अपर यू का कुछ तो मतलब होना चाहिए ना. करिश्मा, एनी डाउट्स?
Active, sir.
तुषार, कुछ समझ आ रहा है क्या हो रहा है? आपका फर्स्ट लाइव सेशन है. प्रियंका, आर यू एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड थिंग्स?
Affirm, sir.
Charlie Echo Hotel and Alpha Tango Hotel, are you able to understand? You're not used to live lectures a lot, students. Are you comfortable? Are you getting a gist of what's happening? Please give me a feedback quick.
Affirm, sir.
Athava, are you okay? Are you doing two things? Are you not free to attend the session right now?
No, sir, I'm free right now. Actually, I got disconnected.
No problem. I don't sense the energy. Are you not feeling well?
No, sir, I'm good.
If your answer is yes, why do you start with no? This is something I say always. So if you're saying no, then you're saying yes. So what happened? Are you feeling nervous amongst so many people in the class?
Yes, sir.
Why the nervousness?
I've been attending the first lecture, that's all.
Can you fix this call and give me a call again? The second observation in your call is that you are saying and then writing, and that is quite evident with respect to a little bit of longer dead air that we don't require. So you're saying and then you're writing, and you are quiet till the time you finish writing what you have said. And that is resulting in a dead air that is uncomfortably up to 5 to 10 seconds. This is the first call. It's a very good call. Two things to remember in our call, students. The first call is always difficult to make, but then the first call always teaches us a lot of things with respect to area of improvement. So never forget the call structure. Rule number one, whom are you calling should always be the first thing. Unless it's a distress or urgency call, we have to start with the code and then whom are you calling. So third, be on the lookout. Never make that mistake again. If you don't know the ATC call sign, you will not make the call. Okay. First, know whom you're calling. Otherwise, nobody will answer you. Second, your call sign correct. Why you're calling, mentioned as per the question. What do you want? Request further instructions. Now, instead of asking for instructions, we take charge. We take responsibility. And we say what is our plan. And then we request for clearance. This is what examiners would like to see. If you don't know what to do, then request further instructions is the best way to go about it. And then, of course, pan, you said, I don't know why you said pan, but it was a good thought thinking there could be an emergency. So I can give you some extra credit there, thinking that you are more concerned about safety. This is not a pan call. Okay. So that I've given you the instructions. Try to fix the call now and give me another call again. The trick to avoid dead air is to first start writing, as I have been teaching in every session, students, how to log the call. First start writing, then whatever your writing speed is, let one word be led by your writing. That's it. Whatever writing speed is, make that your speaking speed and then coordinate the two. It will happen. Otherwise, you have a good speed. So don't worry about it. You need blind confidence. Have that confidence because you have worked hard. So that's the thing. Students, when I say you need blind confidence, it means you deserve to have that confidence. Try and do that. Chalo, Atharva, quickly do it. And then send me a picture of your call. Any calls that you'll practice, you have to send me a picture of your call, students. I hope everybody is focused. It's not a simple call. The such questions will come for 20 marks.
So can I go ahead?
Affirm.
Khajuraho Tower, Victor Tango, Alpha Tango Hotel, aircraft door L2 is open. Request further instructions.
अभी मैंने क्या instructions दिया अथर्व? You try to tell about your intent also. What is your intent? Your intent is missing. What will you do? And where are you? What are you doing? Every information has to be given. Anybody wants to try this call? Atharva, it's still not perfect, but it's very good for a first live call. It's still not perfect. Ayush, go ahead. Think how you can make perfect. It's just a practice. It's not exam.
Khajuraho ground. Victor Tango Alpha Yankee uniform. Boeing 737 during pushback we are informed about aircraft door L2 is open. Pushback completed. We are closing the L2 door. Request further instruction.
Atharva and Ayush, please send me your calls. Send me a picture. This will send on the phone. You know where to send. Okay. Sushita, give me a call.
Khajuraho Tower. Victor Tango Sierra Sierra Mike on 122.3. 1215 stand 2 during pushback aircraft door L2 is open. Aborting pushback will call again pushback once door closed. Standby Airbus 320.
Sushita, send me a call. Sushita, how was that call that you just gave? How do you feel about that call?
So I feel that during pushback, aborting pushback would be better, depending on the situation. Because only this information is given that during pushback. So I've assumed that I was on stand 2. And once the door is closed, then I will start with the startup and further compliances.
Okay. Charlie Echo Hotel, any inputs on this from your end? Charlie Echo Hotel is Atharva.
Negative, sir. Call sign Victor Tango Charlie Echo Oscar.
When you say negative and you have to end with a call sign, you don't have to say call sign as the words call sign. You can simply end with your call sign. Good use of ending with your call sign though. Why not? Try to give me a call without writing. Try if you can. Just try. Right and wrong is not an issue in the practice sessions.
Okay. Uh,
You don't have to write.
Khajurao Ground Victor Tango Charlie Echo Oscar. Stand 2. Cancelling pushback. Aircraft door L2 open. Requesting further instructions.
Not bad. Clean. Intent could be worked. With practice, we'll get there, but good. Okay, students, now see. Sushita, on your call, the written aspect, when I read the call, the way you have written it down, it's fine. It's not bad. But the transmission, everything is good, but something is missing. Probably a little bit of intensity in certain words that we transmit. Like I've asked you all to, have a little bit of energy if there's something important happening. We cannot be not active with respect to situations, because this is communication. This is real, students. So if there's a situation where during pushback your door is open, it's a fatal error. How? Why? Who? It's going to be investigated. Somebody is going to be held responsible for this. It's not a simple thing, but it is not something that will crash the aircraft. So something was missing, Suchita. We need to work on that. And I'm expecting a little more. Of course, you might not be ready, and whatever reasons you give, but I'm expecting the best. This was something that was missing, something that would make it the best. So what is that something? It could be structuring, it could be focus, it could be anything. But it should sound good, students. In the end, it should sound effortless for the other person to understand what you are saying. If I have to say, the ultimate purpose of RT is for you to have eyes to make your moments, then the another ultimate purpose, which is the communication, the technique, the protocols, the language, that is designed in such a way that if you follow it, it is very easy for the other person to understand what you're trying to communicate. Now that when you are making calls, as a student, when I am making calls as a student, we are rushing to give correct answers to questions. Is that what we are doing in RT environment? Is RT environment in exam, in real life, is it a question paper every day that the air traffic controller and the pilot are exchanging between each other? If not, then your exam is similar to that. So you stop thinking about your answers being right or wrong. You think about your procedures, your operation, your mission to fly the aircraft safe, whether that is right or wrong. What would you do as a pilot? If you're pushing back the aircraft and ATC, and who will inform you? You don't know. Cabin crew, ATC, probably ATC will tell you. During pushback. Now you assume wherever you are. What are the 4 things important? Whom are you calling? Who you are? Where are you? Why you're calling? Think about it. It's not that difficult. So if your calls are done, you have followed the protocols, but you have not made it easy for the other person to understand, still you are not learned RT. So structure your calls and speak them in such a way that it is very easy for the other person to understand. As a student, you only focus about, what are you focused about? Giving your answer. You don't care what happens. But this is not that kind of exam. Simple. Show that in the exam, that it's a two-way thing. Your examiner, even if you're having a bad day, even if you just finished 3 questions, if your calls are good with respect to what I'm saying, you will get through part 2. Remember this. This is A new day for a new week, first day of a new month. I'm saying everything again. Each and every instruction that is important, I have been saying it regularly. Some of y'all are not following. And that is the difference between you being able to clear and not, most of the times. So please be aware. Okay. Now we'll be taking a short break. During the break, as at the moment you come back, we'll be starting the mock. In the mock, everybody will be getting the paper. Okay. In the mock, you will be observing, you will be writing the students and the ATC's call, and you will be making your own calls as we go ahead, but you will not transmit. But you will park your doubts, park your observations, and talk to me if you're being talked to. And then focus on the feedback. Okay. Nobody is gonna judge the person, because the job is not to judge the other person. The job is to learn and train yourself. So you can listen to the student's call, but what you have to imagine is what would happen to you. What would you do? And if you are analyzing, then you're analyzing two prospects or two aspects. One would be your personal growth, and second would be as an examiner. Charlie Echo Hotel, please tell me what's your doubt.
So previously I had mentioned call sign was because you were acknowledging me by Charlie Echo Hotel. My call sign is Charlie Echo Oscar. So in case I have to correct the ATC or an aircraft, what should be the correct word to use?
Negative, I say again. Victor Tango, Charlie Echo Oscar. Mumbai ground, negative, I say again. Victor Tango, Charlie Echo Oscar. Negative means no. I say again means I say again for clarity and emphasis. This is my correct call sign. You will be given wrong readbacks by ATC any point, students. This is another thing you need to be careful about. You will be given wrong readbacks by ATC. You have to correct them. How do we correct them? Negative, I say again, and then you could have used call sign, Victor Tango, Charlie Echo, Oscar. Your call sign would make more sense if you used as a word. That you're emphasizing that I have been saying the wrong call sign. Probably I was talking to Charlie Echo Hotel only. There was some other aircraft, but you got confused. So you clarified that I don't know if Charlie Echo Hotel is there, but I'm Charlie Echo Oscar. And I was asking for that. You're giving it to someone else. Make sure you're not calling the wrong ATC. This entire length of 4 sentences is reduced by RT technique in a simple way. Mumbai ground, Victor Tango Charlie Echo Hotel. Negative, I say again, call sign, Victor Tango Charlie Echo Hotel. This way also you can construct the call. Or if it's a readback, if it's an acknowledgement, then negative, I say again, call sign, Victor Tango Charlie Echo Hotel. And then you can give the call again in the same call, like that. Please make a note of these things. These are the things that will help you clear the exams, not your intent, but these soft skills. Remember that. These soft skills are what going to help you clear the exams. Remember that. Everybody, doubts clear? Everyone, doubts clear? Anybody has any doubt? Instructions. Atharva, how are you feeling after your first call? Alpha Tango Hotel.
Little confident, sir.
Say again.
Little confident about it.
Good. Are you not happy to be in the session, Atharva?
Yes, sir, I'm happy to be here.
Good to know. Could not make that out. Anyone who's not
So,
happy in the session? Yes, Atharva, what do you think?
what would be my intention here?
Yeah,
When
I'll
my
be
door
giving
is
you
open,
what do you think will be your intent?
we'll stand by and then close the door and then join the procedure again. Whatever it is.
Okay. गुरप्रीत, आपने जो जूम चैट पे लिखा है वो व्हाट्सएप पे भेजो मुझे. एंड अथर्व, प्लीज
Affirm, sir.
update on WhatsApp. Okay. Intent is correct, Atharva, but I'll give you all a perfect call. Firstly, I want to give you all some instructions before we go ahead with the mock. Suchita, Tanmay, number 1 on radar, you should follow this instruction. Whose mock will it be? It could be Suchita, it could be Tanmay. So that is the surprise element. Think you both are in the waiting room. Okay. And after the break, once you come back, the moment you get the email, that's when I'll start your timer based upon the question paper, 15 minutes, 25 minutes. Take the call sign and that person will start. Nobody will cross talk. If you have any doubts, you'll drop it on Zoom chat anytime in during the session. Nobody's going to get distracted there. But everybody else will be on mute. Student doing the mock will not be on mute. That person can be on unmute. We don't mind. Don't mind the background noise. It happens in real life. A lot of background noise is always there. So that would increase our focus. Do not be shy. Just focus on you. Why do we do collective mocks? In the exam, you'll be doing individual mock. Then do not be wrong. In the exam, you'll be giving exams along with 5 to 7, 8 people with as many instructors. So you'll always feel the peer pressure. This is something that I'm trying to ward off through these sessions. That just increases your confidence levels. So there's a lot of subliminal training that happens that increases your performance levels and you automatically clear the exams if you follow instructions. अभी भी मैं बोल रहा हूँ, कुछ भी एक्स्ट्रा कर रहे हो जो मुझे नहीं पता है, मुझसे पूछ के करो. शायद जरूरत नहीं है वो सब करने की. 15 मिनट में कुछ ऐसा समझा दूंगा कि वो सब करने के बजाय वो सब का आंसर अपने आप आपको आ जाएगा, बिकॉज आई हैव ट्रेन्ड यू दैट वे. स्टिल आई एम सेइंग स्टूडेंट्स, स्टिल आई नो दैट आप लोग अपने फ्रेंड्स की ज्यादा सुन रहे हो, यहाँ वहां ज्यादा सुन रहे हो, उनकी ज्यादा सुन रहे हो, पता नहीं क्यों. नहीं है वो सबकी जरूरत. अभी भी बता रहा हूँ आपको मैं. जस्ट डू एज आई एम सेइंग एंड आई कैन स्टिल सेंस दैट मेनी ऑफ यू ऑल आर फेलिंग टू डू एज आई से. Those little errors. Think about what you're doing. You might be lying to yourself. And that denial is something, if you don't ward off now, can stick with your life and you'll always see that success will always be one step away. And you'll be there and not be happy. So you'll have a life, but not the life you want. ये सब चीजें कैल्सिफाई हो गई ना तो आगे जाके बहुत प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करेंगी. करियर में बोल रहा हूँ मैं, इसलिए मैं बात करता हूँ इन सब की. सो प्लीज इन सब पे ध्यान रखो आप, ठीक है. Quickly write down the instructions which are very important. Read flight plan twice. Second point, note call sign, track, route on chart. Okay. Third, read other info. Then the fourth point is understand the leg. Now, when I say leg, I'm using this term for the first time in our session. Why? This leg is nothing but your departure to arrival. It's one of the flights. For you in the exam, it's the only flight, but as a pilot, it would just be another leg for you. Maybe a leg, maybe a first leg of a new sector, whatever you do, however you're going to be on your job. Understand the leg. Understand where, what's happening. Acquaint yourself in that situation. It hardly takes a minute, 2 or 3 at max. If you do that, you will not make any silly errors. Okay? Then simple. Solve. In solving, read question 1 twice. Second, understand. When I say understand, let it revolve in your head. Let the question revolve in your head. Let it build up, give you some keywords. Do not jump to give the call. You will make a lot of errors. Okay. Second thing, frame call in mind and look out for errors. Remove errors and then transmit first call. Go slow let the examiner get used to your rate of speech. अभी क्या हो रहा है ना, as youngsters, as someone who don't have experience, 25 मिनट के फर्स्ट मिनट से ही आपको घाई होती है पेपर खत्म करने की। 1 मिनट में आप 100 मार्क का पेपर कैसे खत्म करोगे? कौन कर सकता? कौन कर सकता? कोई नहीं कर सकता। प्रैक्टिकली भगवान भी नहीं कर सकता। प्रैक्टिकली बोल रहा हूँ मैं। करने को तो मैं ब्ला 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 करके बोल सकता हूँ, प्रैक्टिस करके, बट किसी को समझ में आएगा क्या वो? तो तुम क्यों इतनी घाई करते हो? 25 मिनट में से पहला मिनट शुरू हुआ नहीं कि भाई मेरे को तो घर पे जाना है, तो इसको पैशन नहीं बोलते फिर। देन फाइंड योर पैशन एंड डू दैट इंस्टेड। अब पैशन है इसीलिए यहाँ पे हम लोग, राइट? तो पैशन को समझना है और अपने हिसाब से बिहेव करना है ना? पैशन कुछ और है, बिहेवियर कुछ और है। पैशन है एविएटर बनने का, बिहेवियर में डिसिप्लिन ही है लाइफ में, तो कैसे बनोगे एविएटर? यहाँ है वो, आप यहाँ हो, डिसिप्लिन ही नहीं है तो पैशन विल रिक्वायर यू टू गेन दैट डिसिप्लिन। अब उस पर कोई ध्यान नहीं देता। सर हम 18 के हो गए, अब जो है वही है, अब चेंज नहीं हो सकता। So this statement, go slow, let the examiner get used to your rate of speech. Think of it as a match, a cricket match जो चल रहा है। शुरू में मारना है मार लो, नहीं मारना मार लो। You need to survive till 75% of the game to reach the end. That is very important. So do that. पहले कॉल में ही आप इतनी गलतियां करते हो ना स्टूडेंट्स, वो आपका सेल्फ गिल्ट ही आपके बाकी क्वेश्चंस खराब कर देता है। इट्स अ डोमिनो इफेक्ट। Go slow. Focus on the first question only and focus on scoring 20 on 20 on that first question. That is your first task. भले फिर आप 20 मिनट ले लो पूरा, I don't mind. You know, I know nobody's going to take 20 minutes for that one question. But that should be your strategy. You should feel that confidence. अभी एक बच्चा सिनिकल बच्चा क्या बोलेगा, अरे सर पागल हो गया तो बाकी पेपर 5 मिनट में कैसे करूंगा मैं? मतलब तू पहले 20 on 20 वाला कॉल बना दे बस, मुझे वो तेरा टास्क है। हर बार 20 मिनट नहीं लगेंगे, किसी को भी नहीं लगेगा 20 मिनट, गारंटी देता हूँ 7-8 मिनट में हो जाएगा मैक्सिमम। तो बाकी जो आपके पास 12-16 मिनट बचे हैं ना, उसमें आराम से बाकी पेपर हो जाता है। आराम से 6 मिनट एक्स्ट्रा बच जाती है आपके। दिस इज द कॉन्फिडेंस दैट क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 गिव्स यू। अगर कोई मिस्टेक हो रही है यहाँ से ही होती है स्टूडेंट्स, नहीं तो नहीं होती मिस्टेक्स। इसके बाद क्या ही, अगर इतना परफेक्ट कर लिया उसके बाद क्या ही प्रॉब्लम होगी? कोई क्वेश्चन का आंसर नहीं आएगा, उसकी स्ट्रैटेजी तो पता है ना तुम्हें। इंटेंट बस बोल दो, बाकी सब तो पता ही होगा तुम्हें। हो गया खत्म। दैट्स द बेस्ट वे टू क्लियर आरटी। तो हाउ कैन यू गो रॉन्ग? वेयर विल यू गो रॉन्ग व्हेन द स्ट्रैटेजी इज सो फुल प्रूफ? यू आर गोइंग रॉन्ग बिकॉज यू आर नॉट फॉलोइंग इंस्ट्रक्शंस। व्हाई? Why you're not forcing your mind to learn that? Why you're just depending on the natural incoming capacity of your mind? थोड़ा मॉडिफाई करके कैपेसिटी बढ़ाओ ना। विल पावर होनी चाहिए। यहाँ पे फोकस करने पे विल पावर नहीं है, बट फ्रेंड्स के साथ क्वेश्चन पेपर्स, यहाँ वहाँ के मटेरियल, वहां पे विल पावर बहुत है। वो समझ नहीं आ रहा मुझे क्यों। अच्छी चीज है वो, बट कई लोग वो बुरी चीज से करते हैं कि यार मेरा रह गया, मेरे क्लास में कुछ हुआ नहीं है। मेरे क्लास में डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस मेरे को नहीं सिखाए हैं जो एग्जाम्स में आते हैं, और मेरे को तो डायरेक्ट आंसर्स चाहिए। So see where you stand and accordingly tell me how can I help you in the long run, okay? These are the instructions. Remember this much at least. उसके आगे का तुमको पता है, right? Any questions? Let's go on a break. I'll be starting the mock 1230. I'll be sending the email at 1230. And the test is for Sierra Mike. Okay? Victor Tango, Sierra Mike. So I'll see you all at 1230 and we'll wrap up the mock at 1330 with not more than 5 minutes of feedback. So I know you know time थोड़ा stretch हो जाएगा, So we'll keep a buffer of 15 minutes max, but no matter what, we'll try to cap it here. Okay? Chalo. All the best. I'll see you after the break, students. Students, I think everybody has got the paper. Sushita, you got it?
Affirm, sir.
Okay. You can start transmitting. I'm going blind. I'm not showing the screen. Everyone will be blind. You'll be on unmute, okay? Students, check your emails. I've shared it with everyone, okay? I think Karishma aapka reh gaya sir. Forwarding it to you. If you all have not got, tell me. And Sushi, the timer has started, okay?
Transmitting question number 1. Lucknow Tower. Air India 1249er on 118.1 1500 stand 3 IFR Lucknow to Kolkata. Flight level 230 Romeo 460 request climb to flight level 250 as winds favorable. Request startup and descent correction. Climb to flight level 250. Human organ transplant on board. ATR 72.
Air India 1249er. Speak slower. Lucknow Tower.
Lucknow Tower. Affirm. Will speak slower. Acknowledge. If information received. Air India 12490.
Go to next question.
Transmitting question number 2. Pan Pan, Pan Pan, Pan Pan. Lucknow Tower. Air India 12490. On takeoff, roll, runway 27. See a animal. On runway. Aborting takeoff. Request instructions to vacate runway in order to accommodate landing aircraft.
Air India 1249er, Lucknow Tower, Roger, Pan Pan, vacate runway via taxiway Charlie 1 on your right. Kindly expedite.
Vacating runway via taxiway Charlie 1 on right. Request alternate runway. Human organ transplant on board. Request priority departure. ATR 72. Air India 1249.
Go to next question.
Transmitting question number 3. Varanasi control. Air India 1249er. Air prox. No risk of collision. Air India 1249er. 1600 100 nautical miles outbound Lucknow. Romeo 460. See another aircraft pass our flight level at about 7 nautical miles. Aircraft appears to be white in color. Radial 307. Estimating Gaya 1625. ETA Kolkata 1700. ATR 72. Human organ transplant on board. Flight level 230.
Go to next question.
Transmitting question number 4. Kolkata Tower. Air India 1249er. On long finals. Runway 14. 7 nautical miles inbound Kolkata. Landing gear does not show 3 greens. Request low pass for visual inspection. ATR 72. Kolkata Tower. Air India 1249er.
Go to next question.
Transmitting question number 5. Number 1. Aeronautical information service.
Go to next question.
Second, cloud level.
Next.
Third, alert phase.
Say again.
I say again, alert phase.
Go to next question.
Number 4, inbound.
Go to next question.
Number 5, upper control limit.
Okay. Please submit your paper as a reply to that email only to me, okay? Don't send it to anyone if you've got others' emails, which I'm sure you have not got.
Affirm.
Once done, let me know. Karishma, please message me. What do you want? Okay, that is done. Yeah, that is done. Good.
Yes.
In the exams, once you give the paper, you might be asked to go into the waiting room for other students from your allotted exam batch for that particular time frame of morning or afternoon are allowed to give the exam. Chances are that while waiting, you'll be thinking about part 2, or you'll be thinking about, oh, I'm not going to clear, or I'm going to clear, or maybe 50-50, maybe you don't know. Whatever the case is, I'll always suggest you be positive. But if you know you have done a lot of mistakes and you know you're not going to clear, it's fine. Let them decide. But you keep thinking about part 2 in that time. And I'm sure your name will be announced, and then you'll go to part 2 on the same day. Others will ask to leave. This session, most of our students who cleared, they were like handful of them selected for part 2. Like one of the students said, so we're just 3 selected for part 2. Out of them, I was the only one with first attempt. Another 2 were giving their third attempt. I spoke to them, he said. Those people made him feel negative about himself after discussion. Why? Because he said that, sir, those 2 students were saying you should have not said the examiner that this is your first attempt, because the examiner asked about yourself. And in that, I said, it is my first RT attempt along with other things. And he was feeling guilty because after the test was done, those 2 people were saying, अरे तूने गलत बोला, नहीं बोलना चाहिए था, वो लोग तेरे को clear नहीं करेंगे. And although the student cracked in his first attempt nicely, he's like, sir, डर लग रहा है part 2 का. I said, Don't worry about that. Tell me what happened. And he says a WPC, DGCA. Good question, but WPC I think was not very satisfied, but DGCA was very happy with me. I'm worried about this question about me because I gave it with WPC and the students are also saying that. Why? Why? Where is this coming from? Who are they? They having given the third attempt doesn't make them an expert, right? Who are they? You will come across such people who will be jealous of you with respect to your training, and they will not show they are jealous. They'll try to manipulate you. This is the reality. This happens a lot in aviation. You won't even know, and all of a sudden your spark is gone. Why? Because you look up to those strangers. Why? Because you are hungry to look up to people in the industry. Why? You look up to yourself. You look up to the knowledge. Unnecessarily, now the results going to come after 10, 20, 25 days since the exam for that. And the student unnecessarily will be negative. Think about it. So just do what you are asked to do through you, through your intellect. That's it. You are more than enough as a resource to help yourself. That's what the training is giving you all. And then you talk to me if something is missing. And if you're not getting it, take it. Simple. Sir, did I do something wrong by being honest? No, this is what the learning is. I should not be honest because I could fail. And if you go ahead like that, you will not get success. In career, honesty is very important because airlines cannot risk $1 million and lives based upon your lies. So is being honest a wrong thing? Do you think it's a rule? They will say it's a first attempt, you will not pass. Do you think they're not professionals? They're not doing it for 20, 30 years since past the same thing. So be careful, okay? हर तरीके से हमें हमारा माइंड प्रोटेक्ट करना है. माइंड प्रोटेक्टेड रहेगा तो परफॉर्मेंस आएगा. बॉडी प्रोटेक्ट करनी है अच्छे न्यूट्रिशन से. माइंड का न्यूट्रिशन ये है. Okay, I've got the answer sheet. Now, Suchita, if possible. Not possible. Let's start with your part 2 mock, okay? Okay, so you'll assume that you have entered the waiting room before entering. If the door is ajar, closed, open, just knock, request permission. Sir, may I enter? Or sir, ma'am, may I enter? Or sirs, may I enter? Couple of people, 3 people, 1 people, doesn't matter. The moment you enter that room where your Viva is conducted, students, scan the area like this nicely, get acquainted with the area, see who's sitting where. Sometimes they both will be sitting on the same desk, sometimes on different desks. Doesn't matter to you. Wherever they will guide you, you go there. Sir, may I have a seat? Good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good afternoon. I hope you're having a good day. Nicely. ज़्यादा overconfident भी नहीं होना है, humble रहना है as a student. And then you start. Look at them. Don't be shy. You can fold your hands like this. Interviews, generally, you should not fold your hands like this, people say. So you can keep it on your lap like this, or you can keep your hands held like this when you're seated. Just simple. It's like you're composing and you're there like this. Sit straight. Try to wear formals. Okay. That is very nice. A good wear formal. Shirt, pant is fine. For girls, Indian formal dresses are fine. Western is fine. Wear formal. Simple. Next thing, we will start your mock. So let's assume Suchita has come and sit down. So Suchita, let's assume that you have said, so may I have a seat? And I'll say, of course, please sit down. So I'll say, okay, so I'm WPC right now. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who's asking you question first. WPC, DGCA. It doesn't matter to you who's WPC, who's DGC also. It doesn't matter who's asking what. You have studied everything. You respect all examiners for the rest of your life. Okay, that's the idea. If you be confident. The strategy for part 2 students, when you're asked a question, don't jump up with an answer. Let it rotate. Same as your part 1 strategy for question number 1. Okay, sure. Suchita, ready?
Of course, sir.
What is... Okay, fine. No problem. Say affirm and end with your call sign. It's okay. Okay. So Suchita, how are you doing today?
So doing great today. Very excited to be here. This is my first exam session.
Okay. Are you nervous?
So no, not really nervous, but feeling good overall.
Okay. Can you tell us what is WPC?
So WPC stands for Wireless Planning and Coordination Wing. It is the Indian governmental body which conducts this RTR examination. WPC works along with ICAO and ITO, which is International Civil Aviation Organization, and International Telecommunications Union. WPC locates global radio spectrum and satellite orbits.
What is the role of WPC in RT or acquiring RT?
So WPC conducts the examination for radio telephony restricted, aeronautical, and issues the licenses to the candidates. The license is basically the certificate of proficiency, stating that the individual is proficient enough to operate on civil aviation radio telephony network on the frequencies which are authorized.
Okay. What do you mean by, what is the full form of RTRA?
RTRA stands for Radio Telephony Restricted Aeronautical.
Okay. You said something about ICAO. What is ICAO?
Yes. So, ICAO stands for International Civil Aviation Organization, as I said. ICAO is a UN specialized agency which was established in 1944 this was established by the United States to work on the governance and
Radio 2.
yes, sir. To work on the governance on the convention which was held in Chicago, the Chicago Convention, which was held for the International Civil Aviation. ICAO has a membership of 192 member states and industry groups. So ICAO coordinates all matters regarding civil aviation at an international level for all the member states of ICAO.
Is India a member state of ICAO?
Affirm, sir. India is a member state of ICAO. ICAO works to achieve its vision of safe, secure, efficient civil aviation sector in the country. It is headquartered in Montreal, Canada. The Southeast Asian regional office is in Bangkok. ICAO has a structure. So ICAO has an assembly of 192 member states, that is all the member states of ICAO. The assembly then elects the council, which is of 6 member states. Then the assembly is divided into 2 parts as the commissions and committee and the secretary generals.
Okay.
ICAO issues.
So have you done regulations? You know so much about ICAO?
So I have done regulations, not completely, but I have started regulations as well, along with RT.
So why are you doing regulations in RT?
So I first started with regulations because that was the subject that you could study on your own. So I initially
But
started.
why you're studying regulations and RT initially for what?
So regulations and RT go hand in hand. So there are a lot of protocols that we have to follow. So regulations is
But
the
what is
basis
your
of.
ultimate goal? Why you're studying these subjects?
So these all these subjects may be divided into subjects as such, but these subjects are for operating a safe operation. Every flight needs all these subjects together. So I
Flight as in, I'm not getting it. What is your, like, are you working for an airline or something?
negative sum.
So why do you need RT license?
So RT license is needed to work on or to be able to operate, or it is the provision which allows you to communicate using radio telephony network on the frequencies which are authorized for the operating crew to be used while in flight. Regulations we need to study along with RT is because regulations gives us the rules that are to be followed along RT. The basis
It's okay,
of
but still I'm not sure why do you need RT?
so
You're not working for an airline, so why do you need RT?
so
You said to use aviation frequencies and all, but where? From your house?
no sir.
Then I don't understand. You don't know why you have come for RT? You don't know why you need RT? Why are you doing RT?
So I know it. So sir, there is an underlying rule which is from the aircraft rules 19037. Of that, it is the rule 63, which states that all the aircrafts which are registered in India and which are operating as per VFR or IFR flight rules, they have to be equipped with radio navigation equipments along with navigation equipments, and the radio navigation equipment shall be able to
Navigation and navigation.
so radio navigation equipments and apart from radio navigation, we also have some instruments. So that instruments as well.
So why do you need RT?
Sir, I'm coming to that. Can I continue?
You have to continue. It's your exam.
Yes, sir.
Do you want me to give the answer on your behalf?
No, sir. I
So what
did
is
not
that
wanted to
question? Can I continue?
Sir, I did not wanted to interrupt you in between.
But you have to answer correctly.
Yes, sir.
Do you know the answer or not? Because you've been saying a lot of things, but I'm not getting answers to this simple question.
So I'm coming to the main conclusion.
Why don't you come to the conclusion now?
Yes, sir. So every aircraft has to be equipped with the RT, the radio equipments, and the frequencies that are prescribed by the appropriate authority. To be able to communicate on that, we need the RT license.
It's okay. Good effort, but that is not the answer. Probably you don't know the answer. You don't know why you're doing RT. So what do you want to become in life? What's your goal?
So my goal is to become a PIC.
Fine. Tell me, what do you mean by frequency? Frequency.
Yes, sir. So frequency is basically 1 cycle per second. So the radio waves, they propagate in the atmosphere using a sine wave. So the frequency is 1 cycle per second, and there are different frequency bands that we use. So the frequencies range from very low frequency to extremely high frequency. The unit of frequency is hertz.
Okay.
We have
Very good. Can you tell me the aviation specific frequency bands used in communications?
so the aviation specific frequency bands that we use is VHF and HF. HF stands for high frequency and VHF stands for very high frequency. The HF frequency band, actual frequency band is from 3 megahertz to 30 megahertz, while the communication frequency allotted is 2.8 megahertz to 2.2 megahertz, and the VHF actual band is 30 megahertz to 300 megahertz, and the voice communication frequency is from 1.7.905 megahertz to 137 megahertz. There are different instruments that use frequencies other than HF and VHF as well. Like we have
No, it's
ADF.
fine. Asked you for communication, you gave accurate answer. Very good. How did you know this? Have you used these frequencies anytime? How do you know the specific frequency bands also?
Sir, I have not used these frequencies, but I have studied about these frequencies, the bands. And while communicating on RT, like for the part 1, we use frequencies also that we have in the hypothetical charts, ABS root charts. So in that, frequencies for different
So is this range hypothetical or real that you have given?
So-
117.985 to 137 megahertz.
so this frequency range is the actual frequency.
Okay. So you have studied it, you're saying, but you have not yet used them.
Yes, sir.
Very good, very good. Okay, thank you. You can now go to the next examiner. Okay, so in this time you will say thank you very much, sir. I'll take your leave. And from there you'll go to the next examiner. You'll greet again once more. Sir, good morning, good afternoon again. May I have a seat? Sit down and answer, okay? Okay, so Suchita, what all radio-based navigation systems do we use in aircraft?
So we use various types of radio-based navigation equipments on board an aircraft. There are different segments for operating a particular flight. So there is terminal, then there is en route phase. So there the phases are categorized. So we have different instruments for all the phase, and we have instruments for en route services as well. So for landing, we have ILS system. ILS stands for Instrument Landing System. It gives you 3-dimensional reference to land at a particular aerodrome.
So you're
ILS has
saying ILS is a terminal-based radio navigation system. So you're saying ILS uses radio frequencies. Can you tell me which frequencies ILS uses?
Yes, sir. So, sir, ILS localizer uses the VHF frequency range from 108 megahertz to 111.975 megahertz.
What is the purpose of localizer?
Sir, localizer helps you with the lateral guidance for perfect touchdown during landing. It uses it basically the antenna uses the principle of
So
directivity.
if I have to ask you, the localizer helps me maintain a angle during glide or a landing, or it helps me maintain the runway center line, what would be the answer?
Sir, ILS helps with runway centerline guidance.
Okay.
Sir, glide path helps with.
It's okay. Do you know any other radio navigation systems apart from ILS?
Yes, sir.
Can you just name all of them?
Yes. VOR, ADF, NDB. ADF uses the ground stations, which are the NDBs. Then we have radars. We have airborne weather radar, which helps with the weather
Okay.
in flight. We have the VDF system.
Uh-huh.
We don't have any airborne equipment for VDF, but the ground stations are equipped to take VHF VHF transmission, and from that we get the bearing.
Okay. Can you tell me us the emission characteristic or emission code for NDBs?
So for NDB, it is N0N A1A and N0N A2A.
Okay, what do you mean by that? Any idea?
So it means that an unmodulated carrier wave is transmitted.
A1A, A2A both are the same?
So no, sir. A1A is different and A2A is different. For A1A, you need manual tuning for identification, monitoring. But for A2A, the manual tuning can be off for identification and tuning.
Very good. What do you mean by modulation? Can you give me a definition of modulation?
So modulation is superimposing a radio frequency. Correction, I say again. So modulation is the process of superimposing a carrier wave, that is the radio signal, onto a audio frequency.
Why do
Correction.
we use modulation?
So we use sir, the carrier wave, that is the radio signal, has a higher frequency, but we need to for us to send the data, which is our intelligence, our speech. So we first need to convert it to electrical data. So for that, we need modulation so that the electrical data is converted, and after that it is superimposed on the carrier wave so that it reaches to the.
So are you saying modulation is converting speech into electrical signal? Is
No,
that
sir.
what modulation is?
Sir, firstly, speech is converted to electrical data. After that, the modulation happens.
So what is the purpose of that modulation?
So purpose of modulation is to modulate the radio frequency so that it can carry our audio frequency.
Okay. Can you tell me how much range can I get for a ground tower working on VHF communications? How can I find that range for a ground tower?
So VHF range formula is 1.23 into square root of transmitter height plus square root of receiver height. Knowing the height of the transmitter, we can find the range for that particular tower.
What are the units used in the formula?
So range unit is in nautical miles, while the height of the transmitter and receiver would be in feet.
Okay. What is the relationship between frequency and wavelength?
So frequency and wavelength are inversely proportional to each other.
Can you define wavelength?
So wavelength is the length of one wave, that is one cycle of a second.
What
on
do you
the
mean by
physical.
cycle of a second?
So one cycle means like a sine wave. So sine wave travels from 0 degrees and it goes up to 180 degrees on the reference, and then it goes to 360 degrees. That is a particular, that one cycle is a wavelength for that range.
How is that 1 second coming in?
So it happens at 1 second interval.
It means 1 hertz?
Yes,
So
sir. One cycle per second is 1
one
hertz.
wavelength can only be measured for 1 hertz. Is that what you're saying?
No, sir. It can be measured for more than 1 hertz and the wavelength.
So what is wavelength?
So wavelength is the length of the wave in one cycle of a second.
You're mixing two things. I'll tell you. Wavelength is the horizontal length measured in meters of a radio wave, the length measured for one cycle. That's just one cycle. It's not per second. One cycle. If your frequency is 2 hertz, then your wavelength becomes half compared to frequency being 1 hertz. So it's not per second. Per second is just frequency. Frequency measurement is per second. Wavelength is in meters. It's the physical length of your radio wave measured in one cycle, not per second. Then you're confusing and missing two things at the same time. Do you agree or not?
Affirm, sir.
No problem. Okay, one last question for you. Sketch a block diagram of a super heterodyne receiver you draw and share it with me.
Affirm, sir.
Do you know the answer?
Yes, sir.
Sorry. Done, Suchita?
Yes, sir. Done.
Okay, thank you. Now, students, remember if you are asked to make a block diagram, you make the block diagram and also try to explain the block diagram, okay? You just have to explain it in the flow. If you don't recall, it's fine. You can prepare during revisions and then discuss with me. Before your exams, you can have a 30-minute, if not more. I generally don't want to interfere with the last couple of days in your exams unless you want me to, like, share. So you can always have a 30-minute briefing session with me to clear all your doubts or do some final polishing. Just saying. Other than that, you might be asked to explain certain elements of the block diagram or the flow of the block diagram. So be prepared in a way to say something at least about it, if not everything. Okay, so I want everyone's attention. Everyone with me, let me know through reactions. Anyone? Everyone here? Okay. Suchita, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Try to use affirm.
Affirm. Affirm, sir.
Okay. How was the experience?
Starting with part one, I think part one was good. I'll just check the paper once again, the answer sheet to see what I've missed. And for part two, I did not do well.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your part one flight plan and questions in brief, in short, quickly, as if you're talking to me post the exam.
So, sir, the flight plan was from Lucknow to Kolkata following a route of Romeo 460. And flight rules was Yankee. The first question was regarding the winds. So, and like changing flight levels. Then second was runway incursion. Third was airprox report. Fourth one was regarding the landing gear and for asking for visual approach. Question number 5, I'm not sure about the second one and the third one. Third one, I think it's alert phase, but I'm not sure if it is, if the abbreviation is correctly stated there. And part one questions were questions that I've practiced, and I tried following the.
Okay, how about part two?
So part two.
You said you didn't perform well. What happened?
So part two, I could not structure a few answers properly, and I thought I'll start speaking in that will come the things that I wanted to say, but I could not answer a few questions properly.
Yeah. Anything else you want to share about the experience?
Negative, sir.
Good. How do you feel after it? What are your expectations with the results based upon how it went today? If today was your exam, like just simulating realistic experience, like exam के बाद आप discuss ही करोगे एक बार, एक शायद call करोगे नहीं करोगे. पास होते हैं तो जनरली स्टूडेंट्स करते हैं, मैसेज पे बोलते हैं सर हो गया. नहीं होते तो शायद बोल देते हैं या थोड़े दिन गायब रहते हैं, तो मैं समझ जाता हूँ. कभी कभी कुछ लोग पास होके भी 2-3 दिन गायब रहते हैं, वो भी चलता है. सो इट्स ओके. सो डिपेंडिंग अपॉन दैट फाइनल वर्डिक्ट, व्हाट डू यू थिंक? क्लियर्ड और नॉट पार्ट वन? ऑफ कोर्स पार्ट टू है तो पार्ट वन क्लियर हो गया है. सो वर यू फीलिंग पार्ट वन क्लियर होगा नहीं होगा बेस्ड अपॉन योर परफॉर्मेंस? सेकंड, डू यू थिंक यू विल क्लियर पार्ट टू? तुम्हें क्या लग रहा है?
So based on the performance part one, so I feel part one I'll clear, but for part two I feel the part two also I gave some questions correctly, but the questions that I gave wrong were mostly questions that could have been that should have been rightly said, because those were the basic questions, and so based on that I think part two I won't.
If you think you made mistakes, if you think you could not perform the way you wanted to, then why do you think that happened? Like people around you, disturbance, maybe you're not feeling well, or just in the moment it happened? Did you one?
I think it happened in the moment because I'm still not able to tell what exactly went wrong.
Fine. Okay. Well done. A very tedious session. If you look at it, you have been grilled and you have been asked in depth with respect to how much knowledge you have in part two, and examiner was intimidating a little bit of hurting the ego in some or the other way, we could see, we could sense, especially when the person is not smiling, the person is a little arrogant or strict, whatever the case is. I think it's one of the most grilling, yet covering simple points, yet grilling mocks that I've done. And I think you handled it pretty well. I could sense somewhere because of distractions, we could say background family, but in exams, we could say a distractive thought or maybe something happening on the outside of the exam center that also impacts students in certain occasions. So, with respect to that, I think you didn't give up. You didn't break down under pressure. I could feel that you were going through some emotions at one point where you were not able to answer that one question, probably consciously, unconsciously. I know why you would have done that. Unconsciously, just a mistake. Consciously, also, I probably know why. And I respect that. You trying to control that and still give an answer, it was commendable. You didn't break down under pressure. And I really like that. What I really liked about part two is that you're following the strategy as much as you can. That is a good thing. Certain answers, keywords, key points were missing, but it's okay. This is how organically the questions would be, and this is how in the exam students you would be like. Okay, so you don't need to worry. What you need to do is, if you happen to be spread across everywhere because of such things like you're not in place, you're out of place, you think, then try to sort it out and control it. If your start is bad, it's okay. Bring it back and end it. Exactly what you have done. It's okay. It was good. I can find negatives in anything, I can find positives in anything. The examiners will balance it. They will try to ignore the negatives if they are very minute, compared to that if you have a lot of positives. And you have a lot of positives. So you need not worry. If you have to worry, then you just say, okay, I'll be more focused on keywords. So that's it. If that is what you're missing. So if we have to say what you're missing, it's just keywords. Now I'll say, why do you want RT? So you'll say, just see. Sir, see, we cannot say, right? Sir, as I said, you used once, as I said, we will not use the word as I said. It might seem as arrogant. Examiner asked you, are you nervous? You said yes, no, feeling good. It was fine. But a question, are you nervous in your interviews? You could say, I'm nervous, but in control. That's it, what you will say. I feel I'm nervous, but in control, like that. Okay. And of course, sir, I'm nervous. I'm as nervous as every pilot would be before every flight, but then I'm confident and in control because I remember my training. If you can add on to these things for the rest of your interviews, trust me, people will be like, चलो इसके ऊपर ज्यादा ध्यान देते हैं, शायद ये बच्चा बच्ची सही है हमारे लिए. Then they'll ask you more questions, help you see how you are. They will not just see how you are as a performer, they'll also see how you are as someone who would grow and learn in future to be the way they want you to be. That is very important. Okay. सो आरटी एग्जाम में कहीं ना कहीं ये सब छोटे लेवल पे देखेंगे वो लोग, बट देखते हैं वो लोग भी ये सब. ठीक है. यही चीज इंटरव्यू में होती तो बहुत ज्यादा होती, 2-2 घंटे भी इंटरव्यू चल सकता है फिर तो. एंड ये बहुत अच्छा था. ये बहुत अच्छा था बिकॉज स्टूडेंट को इंटरेस्ट है, दिख रहा है, स्टूडेंट इज ट्राइंग टू डू इट. एंड ये फर्स्ट टाइमर स्टूडेंट है, पता चल रहा है. बट फर्स्ट टाइमर के हिसाब से जो रिस्पॉन्सेज मिले वो बहुत अच्छे मिले. तो फर्स्ट टाइमर है, पता चल रहा है और आंसर भी अच्छे हैं. इट्स अ गुड थिंग. छोटी मोटी मिस्टेक से डरना नहीं है, हम सब करके आते हैं. बट हमारे पॉजिटिव्स क्या है, हमारे स्ट्रेंथ. अब ये मिस्टेक 0 कर दोगे तो और भी बेहतर है. बट 10-20% भी मिस्टेक्स हो रही है ना स्टूडेंट्स, चल जाएगा. 80% बहुत है. पासिंग 50 है सिर्फ. तो तुम्हें कैप दी गई है एंड वो कैप के हिसाब से आपने जो किया ना, आपने अच्छा किया है. कुछ भी इतने गलत आंसर्स नहीं दिए हैं. गलत आंसर कहाँ पे चल रहा था, आप आरटी क्यों कर रहे हो, ये क्वेश्चन स्टूडेंट कोई कभी भी पूछ सकता है. यू हैव टू गिव देम अ वेरी गुड आंसर. या तो अबाउट योर सेल्फ आप बोल सकते हो, या फिर आप अदरवाइज यू कैन जस्ट से व्हाट आई एम गोना से राइट नाउ. सो व्हाई यू आर डूइंग आरटी. So, sir, RT is very well explained. It's a COP, Certificate of Proficiency, and a license to operate. लिख लो. Sir, RTR as it stands, it's not just a license, but it's also a certificate of proficiency, proving that the holder is proficient in aviation radio telephony. And also the document is a license to operate civil aviation aeronautical frequencies. The purpose to acquire RT and to learn RT with respect to safety, it is very important. I need to learn the language in which air traffic controllers and pilots talk. I need to know the protocols. But then over and above that, the importance of the license is this, that as per Rule 63 of the Indian Aircraft Rules 19037. Suchita, I like that you mentioned all numbers in individual letters, but then for someone who doesn't know RT and if you're explaining years, you say which is year 1937. You could say that along with 19037. But you can show RT expertise. You can show, okay, what I mean is year 19037, that is 1937. So as per those rules, every civil aviation aircraft required to be operated as a part of a civil aviation needs to have certified or approved radio apparatus for two-way radio communication. And that apparatus should be operated by a licensed holder, a holder that has a valid radio telephony license. RTRA is one such license or is the license. So unless I have that, I will not be able to fly commercial. And my goal in life, my plan is to obtain a CPL to work as a professional PIC. So if you don't want to use the word pilot, it's fine. You can still find your way around because in the exams, of course, you can use the word. So, sir, my goal here is to become a commercial pilot. I'm here working towards that. I'm gaining knowledge with respect to theory subjects. I've started navigation, regs, RT. RT I took as the first subject to clear along with others because RT will teach me about not just the protocols, not just the language, not just the rules. It is a combination of all other elements in my syllabus. A little bit of meteorology, a lot of regulations, a lot of navigation, radio wave theory. And then, of course, as per Rule 63, I need to have this license. Otherwise, even if I finish my flight training, I might not get the license unless I have the RT along with other documents. This is what they want to hear. Why are you doing this? Simple. Sir, मेरे को CPL नहीं मिलेगा इसके बिना. वो एक reason है. Plus the knowledge factor also. Simple. Rule 63, Indian Aircraft Rules 1937. So very good. You gathered it. You're not giving that word. And I think you had your reason and that's justified. It's fine. If not, just say, I want my CPL and CPL needs all four papers, medical, flight training, and RTR. That is one reason. Another reason, of course, I need to know the language so that safe communications can happen, preventing any accidents or misunderstandings that happen due to lack of proper communication. So RT teaches me to have one universal language that sounds like English, but it is easy to learn through proper training so that all member states of ICAO could use or talk in the same language, preventing miscommunication related accidents that can be influenced by their natural mother tongue. Like I can give you example in our south, in our north, east, west, people have different mother tongues, different influence, and their English also sounds different. RT protocols help us to learn English in a way, the aviation RT that we call it, not aviation English, it's RT, that everybody can learn without making mistakes in a short span of time, provided they prove by getting an RT license. So every country has their own licenses. India has that, which I'm working towards. So many ways you could put and answer this. They were grilling because, अरे आपको पता ही नहीं आप क्यों कर रहे हो? So this is lack of maturity that certain Indian examiners might gauge. यहाँ पे वो नहीं दिखा lack of maturity. So don't worry. बट कोई और होता, अगर उसने आंसर्स भी अच्छे से नहीं दिए, सुचिता ने तो बहुत अच्छे से आंसर्स दिया. अगर कोई और होता जो और अच्छे से आंसर्स भी नहीं दे पा रहे हैं, 50-50 में है, सुचिता वाज 80-20, नो प्रॉब्लम देयर. 50-50 में अगर कोई है और वहां पे क्यों कर रहे हैं और सीपीएल मुंह से निकल ही नहीं रहा है, पायलट लाइसेंस निकल ही नहीं है, मेरे को सीपीएल बनना है इसलिए मैं आऊँ. वो कोई अगर बोल ही नहीं रहा है मुझे प्रोफेशनल पायलट में करियर बनाना है, मुझे इंडिया के लिए फ्लाई करना है, मुझे इंडियन एयरलाइंस के लिए फ्लाई करना है, या मुझे ग्लोबल पायलट बनना है, या मुझे मेरी एयरलाइन चलानी है 20 ईयर्स डाउन द लाइन, उसके लिए मुझे पहले पायलट बन के 20 साल उड़ाना है, कुछ भी बोल सकते हो आप, जो आपका गोल है. I need a rich life and pilot job is going to give that to me and my passion is in flying only. So it merges. You can say that also, honestly, if that is your main goal. Lifestyle, travel, whatever you want, you can be honest. बाकी कुछ नहीं बोलना, मेरा फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट आरटी सिर्फ बोलना डजंट मेक सेंस. पूरा गोल बताओ, उसमें आरटी डाल दो कि आरटी कर रही हो. फर्स्ट सेकंड थर्ड आपके दिमाग में है स्टूडेंट्स. बोलना नहीं बोलना है, कोई पूछ रहा है तो बोलना पहली बार दे रहे हो तो क्या हुआ, आई एम प्रिपेयर्ड. समझ रहे हो? सो ओवरऑल आई एम वेरी हैप्पी. पार्ट 1 का फीडबैक लिख लो. बहुत फास्ट जा रहे हो आप. एग्जामिनर्स इतने फास्ट नहीं चलेंगे सुचिता. योर पेपर वॉज सो गुड. आपके पास 8 मिनट पूरे बचे थे. 22 भी क्या, 25 माइनस 17 मिनट में आपने पेपर कर दिया पूरा. वेरी हैप्पी. कॉल स्ट्रक्चर्स मैं बोल सकता हूँ ऊपर नीचे है, मैं बोल सकता हूँ ये 2 चीजें हैं मिसिंग है, बट इतना कोई बड़ा मिस्टेक नहीं है. लॉग्स में जहाँ पे नो रिस्पॉन्स आया वहाँ नो रिस्पॉन्स लिखना है, वो आपने नहीं लिखा है लॉग में, ठीक है, वो एक पॉइंट मिसिंग है। सेकेंड चीज, पैन पैन जो कॉल था, अबॉर्टिंग टेक ऑफ, यूर ऑन टेक ऑफ रोल, aborting takeoff में brakes can become hot. That's why it's a pan-pan call. Of course, incursion, runway incursion with the animal can induce foreign object damage. यहाँ आप बोलोगी कि आप बच गए हो एनिमल से। ब्रेक्स आर हॉट, ब्रेक्स हॉट थोड़ा मिसिंग था यहाँ पे, हो सकता है एग्जामिनर्स ब्रेक्स हॉट करेंगे, बट एग्जामिनर रिस्पॉन्डेड वेल, तो कोई इश्यू नहीं है यहाँ पे, बट वो पॉइंट्स काटेगा वहां पे। प्लस रनवे नॉमेनक्लेचर नहीं याद था रनवे नंबर बोला नहीं बोला मुझे सुनाई नहीं दिया, बट मैं बोला ठीक है लेट्स सी फ्लो कैसा है कॉल का, सो मैंने भी सिर्फ रनवे बोला, रनवे नंबर नहीं बोला। ऑल्टरनेट मांग रहे हो ठीक है, क्योंकि आपको लग रहा है ये रनवे बिजी हो सकता है, नहीं तो टैक्सी बैक टू रनवे। प्रायोरिटी डिपार्चर की जगह आपको बोलना है प्रायोरिटी हैंडलिंग, और ये आपका कॉल क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 में भी आना चाहिए था। ह्यूमन ऑर्गन ट्रांसप्लांट ऑन बोर्ड, रिक्वेस्ट एक्सपीडिशियस हैंडलिंग, रिक्वेस्ट प्रायोरिटी हैंडलिंग, ठीक है। क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 बहुत अच्छे से आपने किया है, स्ट्रक्चरिंग थोड़ी ज्यादा थी, थोड़ा कम कर सकते हो। सो आई थिंक you are doing a lot of things, you need to filter and do specific things now, which is very good. You have surplus, उसमें से एक दो चीजें निकाल दो, उतना ही करना है आपको, सो इट्स अ वेरी गुड थिंग टू सी। एंड वो सरप्लस के चक्कर में आप फास्ट बोल रहे हो क्योंकि आपको लग रहा है बहुत कुछ बोलना है, जरूरत नहीं है, इतना सब बोलने के बाद भी आपका टाइम बच रहा है, गो लिटिल स्लो। रूल नंबर 1 जो आज मैं सिखा रहा हूँ, लेट द एग्जामिनर। प्रॉब्लम एक ही थी मुझे, फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन आपने इतना फास्ट बोला ना, मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगा, मैं बोला यार ये क्या है, ये आरटी कर रही है या क्या, मैराथन स्प्रिंट करने आई है, लाइक 100 मीटर रेस करने आई है या आरटी करने आई है, ऐसा फील हुआ, बिकॉज यू आर नॉट हेल्पिंग मी नोट डाउन। वो रूल नंबर 1 मैंने बोला, यू हैव टू मेक इट इजी फॉर द अदर पर्सन। तो हम फास्ट हैं, हमने इतनी प्रैक्टिस की, हम लिख भी सकते हैं, बट हम एग्जाम में उतना फास्ट नहीं प्रिपेयर करेंगे, सो गो लिटिल स्लो, इसलिए आपको स्पीक स्लोअर बोला, ठीक है। बट पॉइंट्स नहीं काटे वहां पे, वो कॉल के आपको पॉइंट्स मिलेंगे, ऐसा है। सो नॉट ऑल एग्जामिनर्स विल बिहेव इन द सेम वे, टुडे यू गॉट टू सी अ वेरी डिफरेंट एग्जामिनर, बट द वे यू परफॉर्म्ड आई एम हैप्पी, ओके। सो रिमेंबर क्वेश्चन नंबर 1, रिक्वेस्ट क्लाइंब, यहाँ क्लाइंब नहीं आएगा, आपका बस फ्लाइट लेवल रिवाइज हुआ है, ओके, योर फ्लाइट लेवल हैज जस्ट बीन रिवाइज्ड, रिवाइज भी तब हुआ है रियल टाइम में हुआ है, तो आप सिर्फ एटीसी से मांग सकते हो, कहीं भी अपडेट करने की जरूरत नहीं है। यू आर रिक्वेस्टिंग स्टार्टअप, एंड स्टार्टअप के टाइम ही आपको फ्लाइट लेवल 250 मांगना है, ठीक है। सो द कॉल इज गुड, बट थोड़ा ज्यादा था कॉल। यहाँ पे हम क्या बोल सकते हैं, लखनऊ टावर, एयर इंडिया 1249er 118.1 स्टैंड 2, IFR Lucknow to Kolkata, Romeo 460, planned flight level 230, or planned cruising altitude flight level 230, passenger on board 120, ATR 72. You can also mention estimated time of departure if you want extra. Request startup for flight level 250. You can just end that in the end. That's it. If they're giving, great. If they're not giving, ask for another higher flight level if you want, or else stick to 230. Here, the only thing you're required to do is startup call and this. But in the startup call, my other information should also be mentioned. So request startup for flight level 250, human organ transplant on board, request priority handling or expeditious handling, or request startup on priority. Now, the startup on priority and the startup call is something that you learn as first calls. But we forget, because here another situation is given to us that dispatch has informed flight level 250. So we forget using the words request startup on priority. So a simple call, proper startup call, information, bravo, all that if you have that is. In the end, request flight level, request startup for flight level 250, human organ transplant on board, request priority handling, or human organ transplant on board, request startup on priority. Make your call simple, go slow, it sounds a lot. That's it. Climb, correction, climb to, you're a little confused, it's the first call. Because you were fast, I think, go slow, take your time. You finish question number 1 within 4.5 minutes of starting the paper. You might be thinking about delay ho gaya, and I can understand from students' perspective. बट नो, डिले होता तो आपको दिख जाता। आप बोलोगे सर आपने तो ज्यादा रिले किया ही नहीं इसलिए डिले नहीं हुआ, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। जहां जहां कर सकते थे वहां वहां किया है रिले, एज इन exchange of conversations. So please focus on that. Don't go too fast. And first call has to be perfect. A simple call. तो यहाँ मेरे को 20 चाहिए, तो यहाँ अगर 20 के लिए मैं मेहनत नहीं कर रहा हूँ तो मुझे आगे ज्यादा स्ट्रगल करना पड़ सकता है। तो मेरी मेहनत यही है कि गो स्लो बट गो राइट। तो स्टूडेंट्स, बाकी लोग का क्या चल रहा है? चुपचाप बैठे हो, 1 घंटे से बोर हो गए कि कुछ समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है? क्या चल रहा है बताओ, टॉक टू मी एवरीवन। हाउ वाज द एक्सपीरियंस वन बाय वन? अथर्व, यू टेल मी। सीईओ, आप बताओ सबसे पहले। यू आर, आई थिंक, वन ऑफ द मोस्ट फ्रेशर्स, लाइक द फ्रेशेस्ट। प्रॉब्ली 1-2 लेक्चर पीछे चल रहे हो। सो हाउ वाज योर एक्सपीरियंस लाइक? राइट नाउ तो सब इसके ऊपर से भी जा सकता है, बट स्टिल गिव मी अ ब्रीफ रिस्पॉन्स।
So experience was a bit intimidating. There were a few things that were new and I've not come across so far. And the bits on part two, especially regarding the frequencies and everything, were a bit out of syllabus for me, I'd say. Other than that, part one was pretty good. I was following along well and I was able to jot down everything as well. So overall, a good experience. I'd like to be where she is right now and go beyond that as well. At the time the
Well,
journey
that is a very
progresses.
good compliment for you, Sujita. Like anyone who is starting to learn would want to reach at this level, that such a tough exam could be performed well. And maybe a little beyond that, I like that area of thinking. So very good. Well said. The part about intimidating and all, I hope you're not taking it too much as in it's affecting you. I only understand how it felt. But remember, out of syllabus is not the right word for us to use any time in aviation training, because no matter if you finish your studies, still you will not be well versed with half of the things that you are working on in aviation. That only you will gain with experiences as you grow ahead, that airlines and type rating and other things will teach you operations. So out of syllabus के लिए ready रहो आप लोग। Navigation, regulation, meteorology, RT, ready रहो। आपकी ट्रेनिंग ऐसी है कि आउट ऑफ सिलेबस आप आंसर दे पाओगे, याद रखना आपको। तो सेकेंड थिंग व्हाट यू शुड थिंक अबाउट इज, यार इतने में मेरे को इतना समझ रहा है, मेरे को हार्डली 10-15 लेक्चर और करने हैं। आई विल बी देयर वेयर शी इज, प्रोवाइडेड वी प्रैक्टिस। तो बोलो ये आज नहीं आ रहा है बट कल मुझे आना ही है, सो यू बी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर दैट। शी विल नॉट बी इंटिमिडेटिंग एंड नॉट फील मेरे लिए आउट ऑफ सिलेबस है, बिकॉज राइट नाउ यू आर नॉट रिक्वायर्ड टू गिव अ मॉक, बट स्टिल यू आर हियर। 25% of your journey towards training, you are here. It should only give you benefit, and I'm sure that's how you're feeling right now. So very good, very good. तुषार, तुम्हारा क्या कहना है? तुम्हारे लिए भी बहुत मुश्किल हुआ होगा।
Yes, sir. My experience is that I think I am very far from this point.
पॉजिटिव्स की बात करो, ये नेगेटिव्स के लिए तुमको नहीं बुलाया है, ध्यान देना, उससे ध्यान हटाओ। अभी ना
Yes.
तुम्हारी एग्जाम है ना अब तुमको देना है, नहीं तो अभी तुम लोग डर गए तो तुम पढ़ना ही छोड़ दोगे, ऐसा भी हो सकता है, राइट? टॉक अबाउट पॉजिटिव्स। तुषार, कुछ पॉजिटिव शेयर करना, आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ।
Yes, sir.
इतने ठंडे कैसे पड़ गए? भूख लग रही है?
No, sir.
जनरली जो फर्स्ट टाइम लाइव करता है उनसे मजाक नहीं करता हूँ, नहीं तो फिर कभी आते ही नहीं है। बट आप तो कब से पढ़ रहे हो तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। एनर्जी
Yes,
कहाँ है
sir.
तुषार? कल थोड़ी है
नहीं है
तुम्हारी
सर।
एग्जाम,
No, sir.
इतना डर क्यों रहे हो?
सर कंफ्यूजिंग विद क्वेश्चन, मतलब मेरे को समझ में नहीं आया सही
क्वेश्चन
से
पे
कुछ।
मत जाओ, तुम टेक्निकल एस्पेक्ट पे ही मत जाओ, तुम एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करो सिर्फ।
तो वो
तुमसे
तो
कैसे
अच्छा था
एक्सपेक्ट कर लो
मतलब।
यार? तुम सोचो तुम इंजीनियरिंग कर रहे हो और
यस
जो
सर।
8th ईयर का मैथ सॉल्व करना है वो तुम्हें मैं फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर में दे रहा हूँ, तो क्या तुमसे मैं एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा हूँ वो सॉल्व करने के लिए? मैं तो बोल रहा हूँ यार तुम्हें करना है आगे जाके, कैसा लग रहा है अब?
यस सर।
ये पर्सपेक्टिव से आंसर दो जल्दी।
यस सर, ये तो है कि अब क्या क्या सीखना है वो पता चल गया।
गुड। बताओ नेगेटिव पॉइंट्स क्या लग रहे हैं? टेक्निकल नहीं पूछ रहा हूँ, सिलेबस बेस्ड
यस
नहीं पूछ
सर।
रहा हूँ, परफॉर्मेंस बेस्ड पूछ रहा हूँ। फील आ गई एग्जाम में क्या होगा?
यस सर, ये तो पता चल गया।
कर पाओगे नहीं कर पाओगे? विथ
यस
ट्रेनिंग
सर।
कंप्लीटेड।
यस सर, ये तो
बस सिंपल, ठीक है, वेरी गुड। तन्मय, एज एन एग्जामिनर फीडबैक दो।
So it was good overall, a real simulation, I must say, and she went pretty good. Like basic small mistakes, silly mistakes, that I expect she will recover from that. And other than that, all good, very good. Intent was good, sir. Basically, her question का intent जो था उसका, it was perfect.
What about basics, fundamentals, soft skills?
Um, Sir, like in communication, while saying words, like when she was saying this thing, pan, that that strong gut feeling to say that pan was not there. Like you need to highlight those important words, so that was somewhere lacking.
Okay. How did you find the question paper as a student?
So question paper was easy, I would say. It was like in a very easy language. Questions was very easy language and very straight through.
Okay.
Not very lengthy, I would say, because if there would have question number one and then alpha bravo, then it would have been more lengthy, and it would have been a burden on time management too. But she managed very well with time also, so that's not a big issue with her, I would
Don't
say.
you think she was speaking a little too fast?
Yeah, little
Sometimes,
too
some of
fast.
couple of calls here and there. You don't mind as an examiner?
It was an issue, but like if the examiner is fast enough to copy all those things simultaneously,
Is it right to expect them to be so fast?
no, negative.
So that is a if,
Like
that is not in our control. Things that are not in our control should not be in our plan. They should be in our contingency plan. लिख लो ये चीज. Things that are not in our control should not be a part of our plan, but they should be a part of a contingency plan. बहुत काम आएगी ये लाइन, ये अपनी ही है खुद की. Copyright is with us only, iCATS only. Good observation, Tanmay. Very good. Muskan, feedback? Muskan, I'm not sure if you're busy, free. Let's get done with this, okay?
Negative, sir, I'm free.
Affirm, sir, I'm free. हाँ, तुम लोग ना से क्यों शुरू करते हो स्टूडेंट्स? ये अपन सबको आदत है शायद ना. वी ऑल इंडियंस डू दैट. ना से हाँ बोलते हैं तो आधी चीज वैसे ही नहीं होती फिर. यू नो, वर्ड्स हैव पावर. नो वरीज. आप भी, अथर्व, सब लोग ट्राई करो हाँ को हाँ से ही ट्राई करने का. चलो, कैरी ऑन विथ योर फीडबैक क्विक.
Affirm, sir, I'm free. So the overall experience was good. Every time I get to know some new thing whenever I do calls. So, and I like the way she handled in part 2. Was great.
It was indeed very great. Very nice. Good observation. Atharva, Alpha Tango Hotel. This being your first session and that too of mock observation. But considering you have studied so much, practiced and everything, share your feedback, experience that is.
It was overall great. Got to know about how things work and how to handle things the way she did.
So, Atharva, this is the intent I need you to keep. Your performance, how do you have to do? And finally, your revision with part 1 and part 2 also at the same time. That should be your intent. Like, मेरे साथ भी ऐसा ही कुछ होना है, मेरे को ready रहना है. ऐसे revision करना है. I wanted you to take the feel. Now, you know, you have given couple of calls, you know, where you stand. I'm thinking that जैसे ही May session खत्म हो जाता है and जैसे ही availability, I know your availability, like RT are always available. So I'm thinking that चेन्नई जो कर रहे हैं ना, हम आपको चेन्नई के टूवर्ड्स नहीं परेशान करते हैं. हम स्टार्ट में ही प्री प्लान करके मॉक के साथ रेडी रहते हैं क्लियर करने के लिए, एंड देन रेगुलर से प्रैक्टिसेस रखते हैं. तो आरटी का आपका लोड रह जाएगा स्टूडेंट्स. बच जाएगा। तो आप बाकी सब्जेक्ट भी करो, आरटी भी करो रेगुलरली, बिना किसी एफर्ट के आप चेन्नई अटेम्प्ट क्लियर कर जाओगे। अभी जो लोग पढ़ रहे हैं जिनका अब तक हो गया है, रिमेंबर दैट, ओके? अच्छे से याद रखना। Any questions anybody would want to share? Priyanka, how are you feeling?
सर अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस था, पता चला वहां पे एंटर होने के बाद क्या क्या हो सकता है सामने वाले के साथ, तो सब ठीक था।
Okay, good. Ayush, all good? Any inputs, corrections?
So,
क्या बोल रहे हो आयुष?
all good, sir.
यार
One
आयुष,
that she says that nine is nine. Not,
sorry, say again.
he not sorry, she's not in the nine as nine.
नाइनर में मिसिंग था कहीं पर, वेरी गुड। Are you sure she made that mistake?
Yes, sir.
Have you
The
marked
first
which
call.
call? First call.
The first call.
In the call sign, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I didn't notice. Good observation. Anything else, Ayush?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So Karishma, Rohita, Prerit, Om disconnect हो गया क्या? I think yes. Rohita, Gurpreet, if you have any questions, tell me.
नेगेटिव सर।
Karishma, बताओ अपना experience. Are you mentally prepared for something like this in near future?
Affirm, sir. It was a very good experience and she was very confident. I like her confidence, the way she gave all the answers in part two. And yes, sir, it was a very good experience.
I agree with that. Shreyan, when it comes to confidence, you need a lot of confidence, but then at the same time, in India, people are so sensitive to being insulted that a student, teacher, or examiner, and a person who is giving the exam, or interviewer, and the person who is giving the interview, that student should not come across as too strong or too arrogant, also, especially when they are giving partial or a little incorrect answers. So, students who will get a फीडबैक फ्रॉम मी दैट तुम थोड़ा ज्यादा कर रहे हो, कम करो, तो हमारे लिए मेलो होना ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट नहीं होगा। स्टूडेंट्स और टू मेलो, उनके लिए ज्यादा इंप्रूव करना थोड़ा कभी कभी डिफिकल्ट हो सकता है, बट विद प्रैक्टिस इट बिकम्स बेटर। सो कभी किसी को कहीं भी प्रॉब्लम हो, यू कैन ऑलवेज talk to me about this. Suchita's case, there was no such issue apart from, as I said, one word being said there, which is not a big deal. We'll avoid that also. So very good. Rohita, Gurpreet, Prerit. Rohita,
It was good, sir. I mean, I've attended mostly all the lectures of this session, but it was good overall.
so like attending all sessions, is there any relationship with this session, or just saying that, sir, I'm just ready attending these sessions? What are you doing? Like comparison or like personal growth you're talking about?
No, sir. Everyone has their own answers and their own experiences by saying the answers. So I'm getting to know that how should we react to each question, and timing is very important while answering the questions. In this case, I've seen that she has taken 5 to 10 seconds to summarize the answer. That was good. I've observed it, and yeah, it was good. I mean, in each answer there is a different element which I have to take to make my answer.
We can always improve our answers. Good observation. Summary is important. Keywords are important. And acknowledging the question, building up that first line confidently, gathering your thoughts, then structuring your answer in your own words. We have a structure design, students. We talk about the abbreviation, purpose, application, frequencies, principle, all different units, elements, part of the equipment, ground equipment, air equipment, polarization, emission code, radiation pattern, and then antennas. See, I'm giving you more extra that point, more than the pointers that I've given you in the past. So if you structure every concept, every question-based concept, ILS, system or radio frequency, whatever, under these common parameters, and when you have knowledge about these, in the exam, you have to just match a few of those parameters from your knowledge base. You don't have to match everything. 5 to 7 pointers are enough, which I have highlighted. Principal, abbreviation, and all those things. So yeah, it's not that difficult to be able to give answers also. You're not just learning to clear RT Viva, you're learning how to crack any interview. That too in your first attempt. Now, first attempt just to attract y'all. I don't care how many attempts it takes. You will never give up till the time you clear and get what you want. That is what determines a career. People who clear in their first attempt, nobody really knows if they give up or not. Understand? But people who have worked hard and after saying no, 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 they have made people say yes, 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 yes. Now that's a person I would like to have in my airline. Trust me, that's how real life is. Real life is not in getting everything first correct in the first time. That is good if you can. But what about under pressure? What about you fail? So students who are high achievers who don't clear in their first rounds, they get so super demotivated that they have to shut themselves off for a day or 2 or 3 just to come back again and build that confidence. That is human factor based weakness that we don't want in airline. Mental stress, family stress. When you learn human factors, all those points are discussed. Someone who's not cleared, okay, I know I'm stressed, I'm sad, but let's go back, study, come back and give back again. That's what I'm going to do. So I handle that emotion. Anyway, more about emotions you will learn as you grow, as well as in classes. Prerit and Gurpreet, what do you have to say?
Sir, it was a nice experience and it gave us idea how to prepare for exams, how to tackle the situations.
तुम तो बहुत कुछ ही सीख रहे हो एक्सपीरियंस से. आई लाइक दैट गुरप्रीत. जो मैं मिसिंग लग रहा था एक टेक्निकल लेवल पे, वो मेरे को दिख रहा है अब तुम्हें आ गया है. सो आई रियली लाइक दैट. वो पैशन एंड वो पर्सपेक्टिव आ गया है कि यार मेरे को पढ़ के करना है और मेरे को जो सिखाया है वो मेरे को करना है. पहली चीज. फिर दूसरी चीज बाद में अपनी एक्सपर्टीज आती है. आई कैन सेंस यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट. वेरी गुड. बस लेक्चर ज्यादा अटेंड नहीं कर रहे हो, इट्स ओके, बट आज किया वो बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझे. तो अच्छा है. वेरी गुड. प्रेरित तुम बताओ जल्दी.
Sir, the experience was great. As a positive feedback, I was also thinking of the same intentions for the situations given in the first 4 questions. And as a negative thing, I was not able to recollect the answers of 5th question, except the 5th part with which you taught in the starting of the lecture.
Students, I have shared a Google Drive folder with almost everyone doing RT. If you don't have it, let me know. It's called iCATS, Fly with iCATS, RTR Digital Library. I think I have documented in sequence 1 to 10. I think 10 books, like 10 sequence in documents. Urgency, distress call sheets, and a lot of things, individualized and multiple. Along with that, there are also ICAO annexes and docs. One of the ICAO document is related to abbreviations. Okay. Today in the same folder, I'm going to copy paste that iCAO document folder also. You have to read those abbreviations and highlight the common abbreviations that you have come across in RT and remember those. Okay. नहीं किया तो एक बार कर लेना. ठीक है, टाइम है आपके पास. There is a list of ICAO location designators also that I've drafted myself. This is one of the best references for notes for ICAO location designators you could find. सब है आपके पास वो एक्सेस नहीं है गूगल ड्राइव फोल्डर का, व्हाट्सएप पे बता दो, यू विल गेट द एक्सेस. सारे नोट्स एक बार देख लेना सब लोग, क्या है क्या नहीं है. एंड इफ पॉसिबल डाउनलोड करके अपने फोन में फोल्डर रखो, डेटा हो ना हो आप पढ़ सको कभी भी. इजी एक्सेस. ओके. एंड इफ यू कीप वन कॉमन सॉफ्टवेयर फॉर रीडिंग दीज पीडीएफ, देन वो कॉमन सॉफ्टवेयर कौन सा पीडीएफ कहाँ तक पढ़ा है वो भी रिकॉर्ड कर लेता है. सो यू कैन मेंटेन कंटिन्यूटी इन द लॉन्ग रन. जो भी है. सो प्रेरित को अगर एब्रीवेशंस नहीं आ रहे हैं, प्रेरित एब्रीवेशंस ढूंढ लेगा, मिल जाएंगे. सिंपल है. टाइम है पढ़ने के लिए, राइट? So that's what the
Affirm, sir.
idea is right now. That's what the idea is. Okay. तो सुशीला, इफ आयुष इज राइट देन 9 को नाइनर बोलना है. इसका मैंने स्ट्रक्चरिंग आपको बता दिया है, करेक्ट कॉल बता दिया है, उस पर थोड़ा ध्यान दो. विल स्पीक स्लोअर आपने बोला, अच्छा लगा. विल स्पीक स्लोअर, जनरली एक्नॉलेजमेंट स्पीक स्लोअर पे कोई देता नहीं है. आई से अगेन हम बोल सकते हैं, तो यहाँ पे आप बोल सकते हो लखनऊ टावर, एयर इंडिया 125 करेक्शन, एयर इंडिया 124 नाइनर, आई से अगेन, एंड देन पूरा कॉल दे दो यहाँ पे. समझ रहे हो? अब सब लोग बोलेंगे क्या पूरा कॉल ही सर चेंज कर रहे हैं? जो किया वो भी अच्छा है, मैं आपको परफेक्शन बता रहा हूँ बस. इस पे भी आपको अच्छे ही मार्क्स मिलने वाले हैं. दिस इज द ब्यूटी ऑफ आरटी एग्जाम्स, दैट देयर इज नो वन करेक्ट आंसर. As long as the intent is matching, you're तो very lucky then. It's like that. Even if intent doesn't match, else everything will be analyzed and given marks. So यहाँ पे speak slower बोला because बहुत फास्ट थे और बहुत जल्दी चालू हो गए थे, ऐसा था. So go slow and call को short रखना है. Remember we have discussed this call. Speak slower बोल दिया, I say again and पूरा call slow बोल देना है. यहाँ I was not expecting the whole call. You tried to say acknowledge information received. It's not your job to do that. You will say I say again and will make the whole call. Students, this is very important. आपने कुछ बोला और एटीसी ने रिस्पॉन्स नहीं दिया है ना, अब एटीसी जाके चेक कर मैंने क्या बोला. इसके बोलने से अच्छा है आई से अगेन और पूरा कॉल वापस दे दो. दिस इज हाउ वी एक्चुअली कम्युनिकेट इन रियलिस्टिक एनवायरनमेंट. ओके, सो यहाँ पे अगर कुछ स्पीक स्लोअर बोला और एक्नॉलेज नहीं किया है ना, तो आप आई से अगेन बोल के पूरा कॉल स्लो दे दो. सेम कॉल, यू आर इन द सेफ साइड. इफ दे डोंट एक्नॉलेज, you raise the station again. That's what we have been taught. But out of the box thinking is what I like. Creativity is what I like. So that is good overall. But you can avoid saying this. You can just say acknowledge last transmission. You could say that. Or I say again and give the whole call. So I think here speak slower was said. I say again and give the entire call again would have been better. Overall, a good call. But I'm being strict. Okay. Of course, you have cleared part 1. That's why I took your part 2. So no worries. Question number 2, Pan was good. Runway number, I could not find. I'm just checking your logs if you had written. खाना वाना टेबल पे आ रहा है तो खाते रहो, बस सुनते रहो स्टूडेंट्स. और कोई जा रहा है तो अच्छे से चला जाए. ये रिकॉर्डिंग आपको मिलेगी, टाइम स्टैम्प देख लो, लिंक स्क्रीन पे आया होगा कहीं, वहां से कंटिन्यू भी कर सकते हो बाद में. आई नो स्ट्रेच हो रहा है, और भी काम होंगे, नेक्स्ट सेशन भी है. बाय द वे आरटी स्टूडेंट्स, आप लोग मेट वेट नहीं अटेंड करोगे चल जाएगा, आप करो भी मत, सिर्फ आरटी पे ही फोकस करो. ये सब आप बाद में भी कर सकते हो, ठीक है. ऑन रनवे 27 बोला था तो सुना नहीं है टीसी ने. चलो, गुड फॉर यू. Runway 27, very good. No, I think that was for question number 4. Question number 2, yeah. See an animal on runway. ठीक है. Brakes hot नहीं बोला. Pan क्यों है? Generally brakes hot के वजह से pan है. Stopping the aircraft slowly. Have to accommodate landing aircraft behind us. Vacating the runway via runway exit, taxiway Charlie 1. Will hold position on Charlie 1 due brakes are hot. Request firefighting services on standby. बहुत कुछ है यहाँ पे जो हम कर सकते हैं अगर ब्रेक शॉट हमें लिंक हो गया तो. क्योंकि आपने ब्रेक शॉट नहीं बोला है, हम समझ सकते हैं आपके ब्रेक शॉट नहीं है. सो यू हैव दैट फ्रीडम इन द एग्जाम. तो मेरे को बस एनिमल था, अवॉइडेड द एनिमल आप बोल सकते हो. नो कोलिजन, अनश्योर इफ एयरक्राफ्ट हिट द एनिमल भी बोल सकते हो. रिक्वेस्ट विजुअल इंस्पेक्शन टू चेक स्ट्रक्चरल डैमेज, वो भी बोल सकते हो. यहाँ पे वो सब है नहीं तो जाने की जरूरत नहीं है वहां तक. अच्छा था. Request instructions to vacate runway in order to accommodate landing aircraft behind us. आपने सही किया, अच्छा लगा. Kindly expedite, आपने kindly expedite का acknowledgement नहीं दिया है, expediting नहीं बोला कहीं ना कहीं. Vacating runway ठीक था. Request alternate runway ठीक था. Request taxi back to runway, human organ transplant on board. Request expeditious handling, ये बोल सकते थे, चलेगा, लेकिन alternate runway भी ठीक था. ह्यूमन ऑर्गन ट्रांसप्लांट ऑन बोर्ड बोला, अच्छा लगा. रिक्वेस्ट प्रायोरिटी डिपार्चर गलत है यहाँ पे. रिक्वेस्ट प्रायोरिटी हैंडलिंग बोल सकते हो, रिक्वेस्ट प्रायोरिटी बोल सकते हो. तो सुनने में सही नहीं लगा, बट ठीक था। टाइम का कोई इश्यू नहीं है, ये आपने स्लो ही बोला, यू अंडरस्टैंड, यू अंडरस्टूड, पहले किसी ने बोला बोलने का। हियर ऑल्सो यू गेट Panvan was good. Structure, who addressing condition straight from the question. Intent, additional info में कुछ ज्यादा था नहीं, हम बोल सकते थे IFR from year to year or something. ओवरऑल स्ट्रक्चर अच्छे से फॉलो किया है, एडिशनल इन्फो में कुछ कम है, बट यहाँ पे जरूरत नहीं थी कंसिडरिंग द इंटेंसिटी। अरे तन्मय बोला है पैन पैन नहीं बोला, ठीक है, इतना मुझे कोई इश्यू नहीं लगा वहां पे, सो ठीक है, अच्छा था ओवरऑल। तो या, the way you understood and gave the call was fine, and clean the call, so you're getting 14. Good for you. Question number 3, Varanasi control. Good job in selecting the right ATC. Good job on airprox, no risk of collision. ये DME था तो आप नॉटिकल माइल्स क्यों बोल रहे हो, है ना? एंड टाइम में बोलो कौन से टाइम पे हुआ था, और प्रेजेंट टाइम क्या है, जनरली 5 मिनट का डिफरेंस रहता है। तो आपने एक ही टाइम बोली है, तो ये अभी की टाइम है कि एयरप्रॉक्स की टाइम है, वो मिसिंग है, मेरे को नहीं पता। तो एट 1600, या ये अभी का है तो आप बोल सकते हो एट 1555 अनदर एयरक्राफ्ट पास्ड आवर फ्लाइट लेवल फ्रॉम लेफ्ट टू राइट एट अबाउट 7 नॉटिकल माइल्स। ओके, उसके बाद आपने कुछ तो बोला था यहाँ पे,
So flight level should be 250, right?
वेट, अनदर एयरक्राफ्ट, स्टूडेंट्स यूज अ कॉल साइन ना एंड में, नहीं तो मुझे पता नहीं चलेगा कौन पूछ रहा है। पास अ फ्लाइट लेवल एट अबाउट 7 नॉटिकल माइल्स, एयरक्राफ्ट अपीयर्स टू बी वाइट इन कलर। अपीयर्स, ओके, ठीक है, कलर के लिए इतना अपीयरेंस की जगह आप कमर्शियल या एयरलाइन का कोड भी बोल सकते हो, बट ठीक है। जन अनआइडेंटिफाइड है या प्राइवेट है या डिफेंस है या कमर्शियल है, वो भी बोल सकते हो। कुछ क्लियर समझ नहीं आया, थोड़ा डिस्टर्बेंस था, बट ठीक है, मैंने से अगेन नहीं बोला बिकॉज आई डेंट वांट टू डू दैट। रेडियल एस्टिमेटिंग, गुड यूज ऑफ एस्टिमेट्स। रेडियल डीएमई तो बोल ही दिया आपने, डीएमई बोलना, नॉटिकल माइल्स नहीं, डीएमई लिखा था वहां पे। ह्यूमन ऑर्गन ट्रांसप्लांट ऑन बोर्ड मेंशन किया, अच्छा लगा। थोड़ा टाइम मिला तो आपने फ्लाइट लेवल बोल दिया, बट यू वेर क्लियर्ड फॉर फ्लाइट लेवल 250 वाज द अजम्पशन। तो कौन पूछ रहा था भाई, स्टेशन कॉल साइन तो ले लो।
Victor Tango Sierra Kilo Yankee.
ठीक है। So overall good, not bad. Protocol was followed with respect to report. Started with your call sign, very good. अच्छा था कॉल, कोई इश्यू नहीं था। लास्ट कॉल गुड, लॉन्ग फाइनल्स बोला, रनवे बोला, लैंडिंग गियर डज नॉट शो 3 ग्रीन्स, रिक्वेस्ट लो पास फॉर विजुअल चेक। ATR, नो रिस्पॉन्स नहीं लिखा आपने, नो रिस्पॉन्स। यस प्लीज गो अहेड।
Sir, she mentioned 100 nautical mile outbound Lucknow, and she gives radial 307 with respect to Varanasi VOR. So is that right? Victor Tango Sierra Kilo Yankee.
Radial 307 inbound Varanasi and DME is outbound Lucknow. So good point. In realistic situation, your radial will be with respect to a ground station, your DME will be with respect to a ground station, but both the ground stations have to be the same. Why? Because VOR DME are frequency paired and co-located. इसके ऊपर भी वाइवा के लिए प्लीज क्वेश्चंस प्रिपेयर करके जाओ। VOR DME, ILS VOR और ILS DME जो भी है, को frequency pairing. Okay, remember that. All right, and yeah, so with respect to that, सुचिता, अगर DME लखनऊ है तो रेडियल भी मैं लखनऊ से बोल सकता हूँ, आउटबाउंड हो जाएगा मेरा। बट एग्जाम में हाइपोथेटिकल अलाउड है, तो आपको यहाँ पे पॉइंट्स डिडक्ट नहीं होंगे इस पे, बट ध्यान रखो हमने इतना प्रैक्टिस किया है तो हम रियलिस्टिकली यूज कर लेंगे। ठीक है, नहीं तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है ऐसा। बट रिमेंबर जो VOR रेडियल है उसी का DME आपको लेना है स्टूडेंट्स।
Sir, but the aircraft was tuned with Varanasi control, so
तो वो तो वॉइस कम्युनिकेशन के लिए है ना। तो क्या हुआ, एक कंट्रोल में तो 5 से 6 VOR भी आते हैं ना, 5 से 6 DME होंगे।
okay, sir.
हाँ, उससे कोई लेना देना नहीं है। जो जो VOR जो DME से ट्यून्ड हो वही रेडियल से ट्यून्ड हो। आप ध्यान रखना, आप लोग हमेशा स्टूडेंट्स एक साथ चेंज होंगे दोनों चीजें। तो आप 100 DME आउटबाउंड लखनऊ बोल रहे हो, फिर चेंज करके आप इनबाउंड वाराणसी हो जाओ, फिर रेडियल 307 या 305 जो भी है वो होगा आपका।
Sir, for question number 1, you did not clear me for flight level 250 and dispatch informed about the winds favorable at some other flight level, but ATC also has to, allow
बट
for that flight.
वो कॉल कंप्लीट ही नहीं किया ना हमने।
हाँ सर, तो सर वो फिर आगे तो मैं यही अज्यूम करके चलूँ क्योंकि वो मतलब उसका तो क्लियरेंस मिला ही नहीं है ना सर।
तो मना भी तो नहीं किया है ना।
हाँ सर, पर अज्यूम खुद से कर सकते हैं क्या that it was allowed?
दिस इज द कंटिन्यूटी इन द पेपर। करना है हमें,
Yes, sir.
कोई बड़ी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, बट करना है, वही लेके चल रहा है नया वाला। यार स्पीच फ्लोर का इश्यू नहीं होता, कुछ नहीं होता तो आपको मिल जाता। समझ
Affirm,
रहे हो?
sir. Yes, sir.
अगर आप 250 ले रहे हो और नहीं मिल रहा है तो एग्जामिनर बोल देगा क्लियरेंस नहीं मिला है। देखो स्टूडेंट्स, यहाँ पे एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है जो मैं बता रहा हूँ। खुद से आपको एग्जामिनर नहीं बनना है। मैं गलत होने वाली हूँ या मैं गलत हो सकता हूँ, मैं ये करूंगा तो गलत नहीं। गो विथ योर इंस्टिंक्ट। इंस्टिंक्ट क्या बोल रही है उसके पास वेरीफाई कर सकते हो आप। अपने गट इंस्टिंक्ट के साथ जाओ। यहाँ पे सुचिता गट इंस्टिंक्ट क्या बोल रहा था आपको।
सर फ्लाइट लेवल 230, इसलिए सर ह्यूमन ऑर्गन ट्रांसप्लांट बोलने के बाद मैंने थोड़ी देर बाद फ्लाइट लेवल बोला क्योंकि, और सर DME में भी मैंने 100 D लिखा है वहाँ पे, पर फिर मेरे को लगा कि मेरे को नॉटिकल माइल में शायद बोलना चाहिए, इसलिए मैंने वो D कट करके मैंने ट्रांसमिट नहीं किया था, फिर मैंने नॉटिकल माइल्स बोल दिया।
तो DME वाला गट सही था तुम्हारा,
Yes, sir.
ठीक है। एंड यहाँ पे थिन लाइन है, बट या यू कैन अज्यूम 250 यहाँ पे टू आंसर दैट क्वेश्चन। कोई बात नहीं, क्वेश्चन के पहले पूछ भी सकते हो सर, कंफर्म इफ आई एम अप्रूव्ड फॉर फ्लाइट लेवल 250 इन क्वेश्चन नंबर 1। पूछ सकते हो एक बार, आपको लगे तो, इन रेयर केस सिनेरियो वेर यू थिंक दिस क्वेश्चन कुड इम्पैक्ट योर परफॉर्मेंस। वो बोलेगा डोंट क्रॉस आउट दिस दैट, ओके सर फाइन, एंड जो तुम्हारा गट है उसके साथ जाओ फिर। वो बोले या देन फॉलो दैट, इफ ही सेज नो कमेंट्स देन इट्स फाइन। एटलीस्ट एक बार आप ऐसा कुछ बोल सकते हो अगर कंफ्यूजन क्लियर करने आ रहा हो। रेयर केस सिनेरियो नहीं समझ आ रहा तो। क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 कैसा था, सरप्राइजिंग था क्या। एनीवे आई विल जस्ट गिव यू दैट लॉन्ग फाइनल्स लैंडिंग गियर विजुअल चेक अच्छा था, बट थोड़ा ब्रोकन लग रहा था स्ट्रक्चर। मुझे यहाँ ज्यादा स्कोर कर सकते थे, बट ठीक है, अच्छा था ओवरऑल। एनॉटिकल इंफॉर्मेशन सर्विस करेक्ट। ये क्लाउड लेवल नहीं है, ये सेंटर लाइन है, CL। अभी याद कर लो ये एक एब्रिविएशन स्टूडेंट्स, सेंटर लाइन। अलर्ट फेस करेक्ट है, ये आपके डेफिनेशंस RT बुक 1 RT बुक 2 जो है आपकी उसमें है ये, ठीक है, याद रखना। इनबाउंड आपने बहुत अच्छा गेस किया, अपर कंट्रोल लिमिट बहुत अच्छा था। सो इस पे आपको 16 मार्क्स मिल रहे हैं टोटल, 4 मार्क का एक था। मुस्कान, व्हाट्स ऑन योर माइंड।
Sir, the second is checklist and center line. Both can be done.
सेंटर लाइन, आप एविएशन स्पेसिफिक से जाओ, सेंटर लाइन से जाओ आप, रनवे सेंटर लाइन, सेंटर लाइन, ठीक है। क्लाउड लेवल का कोई निकाल सकता है एब्रिविएशन क्या है। एनीबडी हैज एक्सेस टू डॉक 8400। दे विल आस्क यू ऑल डॉक एनेक्सचर, ये सब तो पूछे भी नहीं है एग्जाम में, ध्यान रखना है आपको सब पता हो, ठीक है। सो सुचिता, ओवरऑल वेल डन। हैव यू रियलाइज व्हाट आर द एरियाज ऑफ इंप्रूवमेंट एंड मिस्टेक्स टू अवॉइड।
Yes, sir.
एनी क्वेश्चंस।
No, sir, no questions.
Okay. Do let me know over text anytime you need anything. And whatever you need, let me know so I can give it to you on priority. Strict checking, you're getting 74, which is a very good score, cleared for part 1. Part 2 is also good, you're cleared. So expect your name to be in the list and be happy. And make sure that we don't go too fast. 9er, and a little bit of pan urgency to be sure how we could understand much. And rest everything I think is fine. Do write no response when there is no response. Go slow, don't worry about time. Radial DME you have understood. Part 2 overall I think it's fine. You're going good and stay on the same track. And if there's anything you should do differently, then I think that would be nothing. So keep it up. And if there's anything that you need, just drop me a message, okay? चलो
Sure.
स्टूडेंट्स, फिर बहुत हो गए, थक गए सब लोग. सुचिता एक्नॉलेज तो कर दो हाँ या ना. कौन पूछ रहा है? एनीवन आस्किंग?
Perform, sir.
Sir, the abbreviation for cloud is CLD, Charlie Lima Delta. Victor Tango Sierra Kilo Yankee.
ठीक है, दैट वाज अ गुड गेस सुचिता. ध्यान रखना, ठीक है? अच्छा किया आपने, मेरे को लग रहा था एक भी शायद आंसर ना कर पाओ, आपने 4 किया, सो वेरी हैप्पी. क्लाउड लेवल,
Sir, the,
क्लाउड इज CLD. क्रॉस चेक कर लेना, तन्मय सही देख रहा है गलत देख रहा है, क्रॉस चेक कर लेना कोई. बोलो तन्मय.
so there is something new that has came up for question number 5. Like ATC reads a paragraph about ATC clearances and all those, and then he asked us like in voice communication that what was the last final clearance you were given. So there's basically a comprehension that has been given to you, and based on that comprehension, you have been asked 3 to 4 questions. One of my friend has attempted that question, so he was saying like that. That's another possibility of you getting question number 5.
ओके. कुछ नया है तो स्टूडेंट्स डील कर लेना दिमाग लगा के, ठीक है? कभी भी नया कुछ भी आ सकता. कॉम्प्रिहेंशन आर द इजीएस्ट थिंग्स इन द वर्ल्ड. आपको कॉम्प्रिहेंशन शायद तब नहीं समझ आएगा जब आपको कुछ एब्रिवेशंस नहीं पता है, कुछ टर्मिनोलॉजीज नहीं पता है. अदरवाइज यू विल अंडरस्टैंड. सो इफ यू हैव लर्नड आरटी, आई थिंक वो कॉम्प्रिहेंशन या जो भी रीड आउट होगा, 80% तो आप अभी रीड आउट कर पाओगे. कुछ चीजें हैं जो शायद एब्रिवेशंस एंड डेफिनेशंस के थ्रू ही आपको ज्यादा समझ आएगा. तो आई सजेस्ट डेली हैबिट बना लो, 20 मिनट्स सुबह, 20 मिनट्स या 10 मिनट्स सुबह, 10 मिनट्स शाम, एब्रिवेशंस को गो थ्रू कर लो. या व्हेनेवर यू आर आइडल लाइक ईटिंग, ड्रिंकिंग, रिफ्रेशिंग, उस टाइम पे आप एब्रिवेशन से रैंडमली रीड करते जाओ. और जो जो स्पेसिफिक डेली यूज में हमारे लर्निंग में आ रहे हैं ना, उनको बस कॉपी पेस्ट करके एक डॉक में सेव करते रहो या हाईलाइट कर लो, बेस्ट रहेगा. उसकी लिस्ट खुद बना लो खुद के लिए. सेम गोज विद डेफिनेशंस. एक बार दोबारा रीड करो, मगअप कुछ नहीं करना. पिक्चर मेमोरी वाली टेक्निक माइंड में रख के करो बस. कॉम्प्रिहेंशंस विल बी द मोस्ट इजीएस्ट थिंग टू डू इफ यू आर वेल वर्स विद डेफिनेशंस एंड एब्रिवेशंस. और कुछ नहीं है, मैं बता रहा हूँ ना, उससे इजी तो कोई पेपर ही नहीं होगा आपका. तो ध्यान रख के वो करना. और कुछ प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चंस कर रहे हो, नहीं आ रहा तो मुझसे पूछो, बट सुचिता डोंट वरी अबाउट इट. बाकी क्वेश्चन स्टूडेंट्स को नहीं आया वैसा कुछ पार्ट 2 में, पार्ट 1 में, क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 में. सो डोंट वरी अबाउट इट. आया तो डील कर लेना. तुम्हें फोकस फर्स्ट 3 क्वेश्चंस पे ही रखना है, ध्यान देना है. फर्स्ट 4 क्वेश्चंस आर दी प्लेस वे गोइंग टू डिसाइड वेदर यू गोना क्लियर और नॉट. ऐसा होता है, तो ध्यान रखना इस चीज का. ओके, समझ गया ना तन्मय? सीक्रेट बता रहा हूँ कैसे क्रैक करना है. एक बच्चा बोलेगा सर मुझे 25-30 कॉम्प्रिहेंशन क्वेश्चन दो प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए, फिर ही कॉन्फिडेंट फील करूंगा. अरे उससे बेटर टेक्निक है, आप बस आता है सब कुछ आपको, बस एब्रिवेशन वो सब कर लो अच्छे से. तो इसका मतलब क्या है, थोड़ा नोटाइम कैसे इशू होते हैं वो भी रीड कर लो. मेटार और बाकी रिपोर्ट्स हैं वो भी अच्छे से रीड करके क्या जाओगे. जनरली मेन कोड्स वहीं होते हैं जिनका मतलब आपको नहीं आएगा, बाकी तो आरटी में आपने पढ़ा ही है. बस ध्यान रखो उसका, ठीक है?
Awesome, sir.
मेहनत करनी है
Thank
बच्चे
you.
लोग, कुछ भी इजी नहीं है, बट मेहनत करना ही तो काम है ना. जिंदगी भर प्लेन भी मेहनत से ही उड़ाएंगे ना हम लोग. सही बोल रहा हूँ ना? चलो, वेरी हैप्पी टू सी योर डेडिकेशन स्टूडेंट्स. ऑलमोस्ट 1-1.5 घंटा एक्स्ट्रा बैठ गए हम लोग, बट गुड जॉब. तन्मय, प्रोबेबली टुमारो तो नहीं लूंगा तुम्हारा मॉक. एक कल परसों तरसों में हो जाएगा तुम्हारा. उसके पहले तक जो भी है सेम, लेट मी नो, टेक्स्ट मी एंड टॉक टू मी. तुम 2 ही बचे हो, तुम दोनों को तो क्लियर करना ही है. नो प्रेशर, नहीं हुआ कोई बात नहीं, बट हो जाएगा, मुझे विश्वास है। बाकी नुकुल का है एग्जाम, ही इज इन द राइट ट्रैक, बस कोई इश्यू नहीं है अभी। रोहिता, नो प्रॉब्लम, you're still there on the chart, but it's fine. चलो स्टूडेंट्स, नो मोर क्वेश्चंस। कल आरटी तो नहीं रख रहे हैं सेशन, सो डोंट बी ऑन द लुकआउट फॉर आरटी। कल दूसरा होगा, उसके लिए लुकआउट रखो। एंड सुचिता, आरटी नहीं है कल, तो आप चिल करो, सेल्फ स्टडी करो, एंड कुछ चाहिए मुझे बताओ। बाकी तो सब लोग दूसरे लेक्चर्स अटेंड कर सकते हो इफ यू आर अ पार्ट ऑफ दैट। ओके, सो आई टेक योर लीव स्टूडेंट्स। ओवरऑल गुड जॉब। सुचिता, जाने से पहले कुछ बोल के जाओ, बिकॉज इट वॉज योर मॉक। मेरी तरफ से तो ये फाइनल मॉक था एग्जाम का तुम्हारा, बट वी कैन हैव वन मोर इफ यू वांट, एनी टाइम यू से।
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
So,
Sure.
some improvements have to be done, and now that I know what exactly have to be done, so I can devise plan for doing that, focusing on few major things. And after giving the mock, I was not very happy with the overall performance, but now that we have discussed it, so I feel much better.
This goes synonym, the last word that you said, it goes synonym with we should not judge our performance. That is not our job as students. Tanmay, Rohita, Suchita, Prerit, Atharva, Muskan, तुम करते हो नहीं करते हो मुझे नहीं पता, बट आई हैव सीन मेनी स्टूडेंट्स डू दैट। खुद ही बोल देते हैं मैं पास या फेल, मैंने अच्छा किया या नहीं किया। क्लास में वो सब कर सकते हो, एग्जाम डे पे यू सपोर्ट योर सेल्फ। अच्छा गया नहीं गया, मैं मेरा बेस्ट देख के आया, आई नो अ फ्यू थिंग्स हैपेंड हियर एंड देयर, बट आई एम कॉन्फिडेंट। बस मैंने गलत किया वो सोचना ही नहीं है। हाँ मुझसे गलती हुई, बट ठीक है, गलती हुई या नहीं हुई मैं इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ बिकॉज हाफ ऑफ द टाइम्स आप गलती करोगे ही नहीं, बट जस्ट बिकॉज यू थिंक आपको करना था कुछ और आपने किया अलग तरीके से है। तरीका अलग हो सकता है, स्ट्रक्चर यहाँ वहाँ हो सकता है, जस्ट बिकॉज वो क्लीन नहीं था आपको लगेगा आपने गलत किया है। आई डोंट वॉन्ट यू ऑल टू फील दैट बिकॉज इट ऑल कनेक्ट्स। तो अच्छा, आपने आपने जो बोला ना कि पहले मुझे लगा मैंने नहीं किया बट डिस्कस, मैं बोलता तो स्टूडेंट साफ बोल देते सर तो हमेशा अच्छा ही बोलते हैं, राइट? बट देन सभी लोग वो चीज बोल रहे हैं तो आपको समझ में आ रहा है कि यार मैंने तो अच्छा किया। सो जस्ट आस्क योर सेल्फ दिस बिकॉज आई हैव सीन दिस इन सम स्टूडेंट्स अफेक्ट देम अ लॉट। करते टाइम ही वो लोग डिसाइड कर लेते हैं मैंने अच्छा किया कि बुरा किया, एंड वो पैनिक उनके साथ दूसरे क्वेश्चंस में भी रहता है जहाँ सिली मिस्टेक्स बढ़ती जाती है। लैक ऑफ फोकस से बढ़ती है सिली मिस्टेक्स। और लैक ऑफ फोकस इसलिए होता है बिकॉज हमारा फोकस रहता है अरे यार मैंने गलती कर दी क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 में, गलती कर दी क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 में, अब मैं क्या करूं? अरे क्या गलती कर दी, हो गया खत्म। तुम्हें लग रहा है वो गलत हुआ है नहीं हुआ है, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन को आउट ऑफ लेके आने का ट्राई करो, उस पर फोकस रखो, है ना? इस चीज पे अच्छे से ध्यान देना। मैं बता रहा हूँ कई अच्छे बच्चे इस छोटी सी चीज की वजह से सेशन मिस कर जाता है, जो कोई नहीं चाहता है, राइट? सो करके आओ, बाकी एग्जामिनर्स को चूज करने दो और मेरे को बताने दो, आप खुद से मत करो। आप तभी करो जब मैं बोल रहा हूँ यू गिव मी योर फीडबैक एज एन एग्जामिनर, या खुद बोल दो सर एज एन एग्जामिनर मुझे गलत लग रहा है, एज ए स्टूडेंट मुझे सही लग रहा है। वो एक ही परसेप्शन है जहां आप बोल सकते हो, बट वो क्या आपका काम है? नहीं है। याद रखना इस चीज को सुचिता, आप भी याद रखना, आप खुद से मत जज करो क्या करके आए हो। सर मैं कुछ तो करके आई हूँ, परफेक्ट नहीं था बट अच्छा था, मुझे नहीं पता सही है गलत है, आप बताओ। ये चलेगा मेरे को अप्रोच। फिर मैं बोलूंगा नहीं तू गलत करके आई है, बोलो सर कोई नहीं, तरीका अच्छा था मेरा, शायद मार्क्स मिल जाएंगे। ये एटीट्यूड चाहिए बस। In the end, if you get here, students, you'll be topping all aviation exams. And if you top all aviation exams, you'll top all interviews. If you top all interviews, even in recession, you'll get a job in aviation. I have been one of those students. समझ रहे हो आप? 2008 में we had jobs. We were the only ones getting paid. जब लोगों को निकाला जा रहा था, हम फ्रेशर्स को लोग ले रहे थे, तो हमको सब सब पता है यार हाउ इंडस्ट्री विल कम बैक। And so you don't worry, okay? Remember that. I'm very happy and all the best. And just a text away and be on the lookout for the sessions. I think मेट का कुछ रिवाइज होने वाला है। You all just stick to the same schedule. आपको information आ जाएगी। नहीं आई मतलब just stick to the same schedule. Suchita, you can just spend the time on your own, okay? चलो, I'll take your leave, students. Well done, everyone. I'll see you, okay? थोड़ा खाना
Thank you,
खा
sir.
लेते हैं सब लोग।
Thank you,
Bye.
sir.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.